Hello my friends, how are you doing? Welcome to my live stream on my YouTube channel, and today we are talking about Instagram. So I'm gonna do reviews of your Instagram accounts that you have posted in my Facebook group, also giving you some advice on how to use Affinity Photo more efficient for Instagram. And if you are watching this after the live stream, you can look down below in the video description. There will be an index so you can jump between the individual topics so you don't have to search through the live stream. You will get to the point when you click on that, or in the video there will also be sections of that. And usually we are starting off with a light chat with the community, saying hello to everybody. Today I'm also have some service announcements, so to speak, talking a little bit about the stuff that's coming, the stuff that I changed also. So yeah, gonna be a really interesting live stream, that is. Okay, let's start with saying hello. Hi everybody. I hope some people are joining. It looks a little bit empty right now here on the right side. Say hello in the chat and where you're from if you want to. I hope you had a great week and, well, just had a great time maybe playing around with the new, oh no, it's over here, black and white styles. By the way, I found out you can pin comments to the top, so I don't have to announce the pack. It's just up there at the top, and this is a lot easier for everybody just to figure out what is he talking on? Where can I find this, right? We can look in the pack if you want to. Yeah. Okay. So use the chat. I don't see any messages in the chat right now. I think I'm live. It looks like I'm live. So yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Let's close the chat here. Open this again. Let's write something in here. Hi. Can you see me? There we go. Okay. Hey, Joanne. Okay, so I'm actually live. That's good. Just ordered the black and white styles pack. Yeah, I'm really happy that people are so impressed with it, that they enjoy it a lot. So that's really good. I really like that because I put a lot of work into that. And also, it's a passion project of mine because I like black and white photography a lot. I think it's it's undervalued today in social media because, of course, popping colors are pretty cool, but with black and white, it has so many, how can I say, dimensions. It's so rich in what you can do in the different styles and the history of black and white photography and development, all these kind of cool things, that it's really interesting to look into that. Hi, Herman from Amsterdam. Thanks for joining. Thank you very much. Great tutorial yesterday with the spotlight. Okay, pretty cool. Yeah, I like that you enjoyed that. Yeah, and so I added like a new trick to the POCs. I always try to find new stuff to show you. And yeah, always to have some interesting things also. So if you would think after, I think like 280 tutorials on Affinity Photo, just one software, it would be kind of depleted, but actually we're just scratching the surface. There's so much more to talk about. And also creativity is a big topic. I want to go into more. So a balance between beginners tutorials and creativity to show you different techniques and styles, and also the composites that I'm doing, all these kind of things, and the photo shoots that I'm starting to do more and more. So yesterday I did a photo shooting also that I will show you soon. Who is posting what? Oh, Christian, you can't post links in the live stream chat. I disabled it because of spam. So this is why this is turned off. And actually the spam bot even is getting active. That's pretty interesting. Hi, Surendra from India. Hi, how are you doing? Okay, pretty awesome. People all over the world. That's cool. Marco, hi. Thanks for joining. All right. By the way, for one of the service announcements that I said before is I asked you, so I did some videos about gear reviews, about unboxing, about behind the scenes stuff. Wasn't that popular on my channel, but about 30% of my community like that kind of content still. So what I decided is to put this on Patreon as Patreon rewards, because I have done a lot of stuff for my Facebook community, which before have been Patreon rewards. So all of that became free, like this live stream, the reviews that I'm doing, all these kind of things. yeah, so I wanted to do more for my patrons. Yeah, so I want to show you a little bit what is he talking about? What is that patron thing you are talking about, strange man with the gray beard? Okay, so let's get started. Hi, Kurt. Hi, Christian. You didn't? Oh, okay. I don't know. It's strange. Okay, let's switch over to the other screen real quick. There we go. So let's move the chat out of the way. And this is what Patreon is. It's like a blog where I post all of my stuff here. And I'm going to also post videos like this one. This is the first one. I'm going to do more of these. So here I talk about the difference between full frame and APS-C. What should you get if you're undecided? What is better for you? What are the downsides, the upsides of the different formats like that? And I want to talk about other stuff, also show behind the scene videos from my photo shoots, stuff like that, talk about creativity and art and all these kind of things. By the way, another thing that you also get as one of my supporters on Patreon is files. More and more, like I did it more in the past, so often I do technical tutorials, but now I start to do it more again to upload the Affinity photo files with all of my layers in there, so you can look what I did exactly. You can learn from that file, you can experiment with my settings. So what you're seeing in the tutorial on YouTube, you can download as a file afterwards to try it for yourself on top of the tutorial. You can see there's 116 different files in there. When you click on that, you can see the different files. So for example, for the light beam tutorial that I posted yesterday, yes. Digital backdrop tutorial, this is a download file with all of my layers in there. Remove goosebumps with all of the layers in there. So this is a lot of the stuff you're getting here, right? If you come to the site, if you click the link of Patreon, what you are seeing is actually this here, so don't be confused by that. By the way, I have to switch this out because this still says Thursday. It's Sunday now. You see the membership level, so it's as little as 3 euros in this case, plus VAT, which is something that really annoys me because some areas of the world have to pay VAT, like in Europe you have to pay, but I think in America you don't have to pay. So it's cool for the people who don't have to pay, but it's kind of unfair for the people who have to pay that tax. So it's a little bit more than the 3 euros you can see here. And why is it, by the way, 3 euros? Because it's $3, $5, $10. And then I made an extra one for $20 just for people who want to give a little more. It doesn't have any extra rewards, but the others have. And by the way, and sorry, I don't want to talk too much about this stuff, but you get your money back in the sense of a discount. So the $3 tier gets a $3 discount on the newest pack each month. So it's basically for free, you know. If you like my packs, that is. If you don't like my packs, it's not for free. Yeah, so that's up to you. I just wanted to show you what that is, how that works, what you get from that. All right. Okay. Let's go back to the chat real quick. Let's go to the live view again. Boom. There we go. Wait a second. Boom. Okay. Now I can see it. Sorry, what did I miss? Christian, hi. From Frankfurt, nice to join. Thank you for joining. Evan from Belgium, hi, how are you? Richard from Appleton, no, sorry, oh my God. Richard from the UK, Richard Appleton from the UK, sorry for that. Okay. I'm going to review Instagram profiles, but just the ones that have been posted on Facebook. Like I do a weekly challenge, and this time the challenge was link your Instagram account and post it before I start the stream. So there's a lot of Instagram accounts in there. Hi Agnes from Netherlands, thanks for joining. Hi Rene, thanks for joining too. By the way, another thing that's coming as a video, I haven't recorded yet, but I will either later today or tomorrow, is look at what I got. Oh, 1 second. Let me show the right side here. Bum, bum, ba-da-da. I spent even more money. You know that I recently bought this one. Let me show the right size here. I recently bought this one, and then it was Black Friday, and I thought, well, I have a portrait lens, but I want to also do like city photography and stuff like that. So I also, it's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous how much money I spent this year on gear, but I want to bring you better pictures and tutorials where I can use these pictures and show you how I edit all these kind of stuff and how I prepare for them. So it's a good investment to just bring you better content. And I will talk about this lens, the upsides, the downsides on my gear review in my on my Patreon, right? Okay, cool. There we go. So yeah. Okay. Hey, Noke, how you doing? Thanks for joining. Haven't seen you for a long time, by the way. German, what does it say? Budonov? Okay, from Moscow. Wow, hi. How are you doing? Moscow. Pretty nice. Xander, hi. Thank you very much. Always like to have a little pat on the shoulder. That's pretty cool. All right. Is there something else I wanted to talk about? No, I don't. I think that's it. All right. So we can talk about Instagram, right? Okay. And one thing, like, let's talk about it in general a little bit. So you have to decide between, or you can actually do both. Do you want to have a professional account where you want to attract a community, or do you want to have a private account, like where you post your like just fun content, pictures you take with your smartphone of the stuff you do every day? The content is for your friends, so you don't have to worry about followers or consistency or anything. You just post whatever you like. You can put up stories and all these kind of cool things. And that's a big difference, you know, because if you do it privately for your friends, they know you, they have an understanding of what is going on. They understand inside jokes. They understand the relations of what is going on, or they know the location that you're showing. So you don't have to be as explanatory, and the pictures don't have to be as much of a public appeal, if you know what I mean. Because they are for your friends. They are more private stuff. So that's a different kind of approach, and that's okay. And in that case, I wouldn't worry about followers or anything like that. Just do whatever you like, you know, just have fun with the account. On a professional level, I would say have a certain concept. What do you want to show? And the important thing about that is you don't have to show everything, right? And you don't have to bend yourself towards like doing stuff you don't like either. Decide from the stuff you like, decide from the stuff you're good on something that works well, that you enjoy and that your community enjoys, and then stick with that, you know? Because the thing is, on the internet, there is so much stuff. There is so many millions and millions of accounts that the attention span and the interest of the people who look at that stuff is very, very limited. So that means if you do something and then you do something that's a little bit different, you might find that a lot of your community might not like that, even if it's in the same area. A good example here is me doing tutorials about Affinity Photo, but then if I would talk about lenses, I would talk about gear, suddenly people don't like it. It's still in the area of photography. It's still in the area of creating better pictures, but it doesn't have anything to do with Affinity Photo specifically. So people are like, nah, I'm not here for that. And I can understand that. That's all right. This is why I said, okay, I'm not going to put it on my channel. I'm going to put it somewhere else because I don't want to annoy you with content you don't like. So always think in that kind of from that kind of perspective. What is the need? What is the niche? What is the idea that I want to support with that channel, right? And then have consistency regarding the topic, so the niche that you are addressing, and also the interests of your community, regarding the style, and also regarding the frequency. And this is an important part. If you do it professionally, if you do it just for hobby reasons, for a private account, you can do whatever you want. If you want to post on one day 10 times and then not for 2 weeks and then again 5 pictures, doesn't matter. But if you do it professionally, you want to build a community, it's very important that you are consistent. So for example, if you have 10 different posts, don't just like push them out one after another. Take a little bit of time and make a schedule where you can say, I can see myself creating that many posts per week consistently for the next 2 years, for example, right? This is why, for example, I don't do more videos, because there's other channels, for example, who upload a video every day. I don't want to do that because this is too much for me. I think it's also too much for the community. I could split up my content and make more videos from it. But I don't think it's a good idea, and I would deplete myself, and it doesn't follow my own rhythm. And I don't think it doesn't follow the rhythm of my community either. So this is why I do consistently 2 videos per week. And if I add something, something else has to go, right? So when I say I have this kind of everything can happen Tuesday, this means on that day, I'm not posting 2 videos, I'm posting 1 video. So instead of an Affinity photo tutorial, there is another tutorial about something that's not Affinity photo, right? So I'm not doing more in that sense. The only thing I added to it is the live stream. But the live stream is relaxing for me and helpful for my community. So it's actually giving me energy back because I can connect to you. Usually if I do the tutorials, I'm just sitting here alone. There's no connections, no interaction. But with the live stream, there's a lot of interaction. So that's positive. You know, I get some feedback, I get some energy, I get some emotion from you. And that's really helping me also stay connected to everything and like, how can I say, just feel good. You know what I mean? All right. Sorry, let's go back to the... Nokke says a lot of work lost in last times. Really? Oh, interesting. Okay, I thought it's rather less with the lockdown now. I mean, in some branches, it's a lot more, of course. Gamer says, hey Olivio, wenn ihr hier Schwedisch gehören, aber das zu machen, braucht man zu viele Nebenprogramme. So he says he found the video that I did with this Harry Potter effect with the glowing deer, but it needs too many extra software. Did I use extra software for that? I think I just used Affinity Photo as far as I can remember. So that's interesting. Christian says, thank you for the Black Friday Magic Color Bundle. Okay, thank you very much. That's pretty awesome. Yeah, nice. Okay, awesome. Oh, by the way, another thing, another service announcement maybe. I will, at the end of this month, for all of the old packs, because I think everybody who wants it has already bought that, I will raise the prices of all the old packs. And for the new packs, I will, because most people buy it in the first like 3 days or so, in the first 5 days, I will make a discount so it has the same price level, and then remove that discount so it's also a higher price. So just so you know that this is happening. I don't think it will influence a lot of people because most people have already bought them, especially now with Black Friday. So that shouldn't be a problem for anybody. All right. Photoshop ein Vorteil gegenüber Affinity? Can you write the comments in English? That would be good, so other people also can understand what you're talking about. Okay. The next thing about Instagram is it depends how you work. I would say if you edit the photos specifically for Instagram in a certain style, create what I call a master file, right? So in a master file, you have set up the things you need. We can switch over to Affinity Photo so you can have a look at that. So let's go to my work view. There we go. Okay, so we have this. Starting screen, and I'm always having the starting screen on. You can turn it off, doesn't matter. If you click here on New Document, you're getting this screen. Sorry, it's on my second screen right now. And you have your own presets here, and you have your own templates here, right? So I have different Instagram presets. The preset is just the size and the resolution and the color profile, right? Doesn't have any adjustment layers in there. The template, on the other hand, has all the adjustment layers in there that you want to have in there. So if you do that often, you can create a template for that and then use that, right, for a certain style, for a certain look. So let's go in here. So for example, I often use 2000 by 2000 pixels. It's higher than required by Instagram, but I found that I get a nice crisp picture from that. So I do it regardless, right? Okay, so let's open this up. And it looks like this. It's square. Instagram has either square pictures or 4:5 pictures from the ratio. 4:5 is that it is vertical, not horizontal, vertical. That's important because most people watch their Instagram on their smartphones. This is why that's the case, right? So You can set up different things. For example, you can make a template file where you set up everything, so you have this kind of carousel effect where you can go sideways, right? And you have either, I can show you 1 second. Let's go over here to Instagram real quick. Instagram, there we go. And I would suggest you do that, especially if you have a professional account. By the way, before this stream started, because I had a lot of old stuff on my account, I deleted everything other than the stuff that fits my channel, right? So all the private posts are gone, all the older stuff is gone, all the bad stuff is gone. It's just now the stuff that I created for my channel. So this is a lot cleaner. And the way you can do this is if you select a picture, let's go, for example, with this one. And then you can click here. No, you can't because this is the desktop version. But usually you click on these 3 points here and you say archive. It doesn't delete it. It just puts it in an archive. And this means this is a separate tab in your Instagram app, and only you can see these images. So that's very helpful. You don't have to delete them, but they are like there for you. The rest doesn't have to see that, right? So here's a carousel, for example. You go here and you can see this is the image, and then I can go over here to have some more details. And this is carousel in the sense of it goes from left to right and the pictures are connected. I made a video about that, by the way, on my channel on how to achieve that effect. But you can set up a file, so everything is already set up. You only have to drag in the picture and then export it, so you save a lot of time. This is the important part, to streamline your workflow. This is the idea here, right? And another thing that I would suggest to you that I have done here is that you show details of the picture. So you can see this picture here is 4x5, so it's bigger than just a square format. And then I have detail shots, so people can see, oh, that's actually really crisp, really sharp. There's very nice details here with the texture on the skull, how I painted in the light and the shadow, all these kind of things, and with this little glow effect, stuff like that. So you can show different, like, important elements, right? Depends on what you're doing. If you do, for example, products photography, you want to show like close-ups of, I don't know, let's say you sell sneakers, you want to show close-ups of the different materials, maybe the downside of the shoe, the upside of the shoe, stuff like that, you know. So that can be very helpful. And you want to create some file, you want to prepare that a little bit. And other than that, what I would suggest is that you make a file like this and then prepare different adjustment layers with your setup in here, right? So you create one, for example, so you say, okay, I have curves. Usually you want to do it like this, or you do something else that fits your setup, right? That fits your style that you want to create there. And then you say, okay, I have a gradient map that I have set up with my colors. Let's go here to black, and then we go maybe to, I don't know, like a nice orange or brown tone like this. So you have set it up in a right way that you want it to be. So you don't have to do this every single time, you know. You can also like set up, for example, here a shape, a rectangle, like so, and then you put your gradient in here, like so, you know, so that it fits every time. You have everything you need. Or if you put text in here, right? You can create your text like a demo text that already has the right font in there. Hello, and then let's put a picture in here so you see actually an example of what is going on here. This is on text. Okay, 1 second. Place, downloads. What do we have here? Let's take this guy here. Okay. Boom. So we are a little bit Christmassy. There we go. Let's make this a little bit smaller here. Okay. So for example, let's say you always want to have a text in your picture explaining something. I don't know, whatever you're doing. And you want to have a certain font for that. So you can set all of that up. I don't know, let's go with this font just as an example, you know? And then you say, okay, to make this easier, I want to have a background behind the font, like so. Let's make this maybe black, like this, and then stretch it out like so. And then make it a little bit more transparent, like so. And put the text on top, make the text white. Okay. And so this means now, let's center this. Let's make this also aligned center. Let's pull this down. I'm not saying that this is a great design right now, but if you save this now as a template, the rectangle is going to be there, the text in the right font size. It's already centered for you, and you have your other adjustments in there. Of course, the picture should be on the lowest layer, not like that. So you have your other adjustments in there that you can use for that. So you get the same look, you get the same or a similar style. You just have to adapt it a little bit to get that kind of look that you want to have for your products, right? Or for your pictures. And that in that way, you can build a higher consistency between the different posts. So this makes it a lot easier. For example, I do have a file like this for my YouTube channel for the thumbnails. And this also, by the way, is very helpful if you say, I want to have the text every time or a logo. For example, if you look on my channel, let's go to my channel real quick. If you go to my channel, you can see that on every of my videos, I have my logo here, and then I have, no, wait a second. Oh, this is the live stream. I'm sorry. I have the software logo over here if it's Affinity Photo, and my own logo over here. I had it the other way around in the past, but then I changed it because people first look, of course, on the left side and on the right side. So they first need to know, okay, this is about Affinity Photo, and then secondly, see my brand over here. So when they go to the search and see a video, they can identify that this is actually a video from my channel, and they get the quality that they expect, right? Okay, so I have set this up, and this helps me to have the logos every time in exactly the same space with exactly the same size, and I don't have to do anything about that, right? Because if you have to drag in the graphic, the logo every single time and resize it, it will be a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, a little bit like, it doesn't work, you know? So, and also this helps me to design the cover in a way where there's always space for these two logos. Sometimes it's a little bit in the way, sometimes it's a little bit odd, I have to work around it, but I have this consistency of my channel, as you can see, for all the videos. You can see here. Sometimes I don't have the logo. You can see this is not about Affinity Photo, this is about another thing. So the Affinity Photo logo is not here. Or sometimes it's moved over to just facilitate the text in here a little bit better. But most of the time it's the same thing. So this also makes it a lot more consistent. And consistency equals in the mind of the viewer also that you are dependent and that you have quality, right? Because if you're inconsistent, it comes over as like willy-nilly, not so great, doesn't know what he's doing. So consistency is really important to just like make people feel better, you know, and show people you can actually work consistent with your stuff. So that's a very important part, especially if you do it for professional reasons, right? Yeah. Okay, that's basically it. So put in here whatever you want, whatever is important to you. You will see over time that this file will improve. It will change over time from the things you prepare. You might have, for example, different setups for your font in there. One with an outline, one with a shadow, one with nothing on it. So depending on what kind of image you use, stuff like that. If you even need text on an Instagram picture, some do. Especially if you upload a video. For example, you can see here that I also have I made some videos in the past. I want to again do some videos here. You can see, so this shows, okay, there's a time lapse. It's not just a photo. So people understand that, right? Okay. I hope that was interesting. Is there something else I should talk about? Let's have the live chat here real quick. Got my big pack already. Awesome. Thank you, David. Christian say, can you show how to create carousel posts? Wait a second. So if you go to my channel here, you have this little icon with this, what is it called? Can't remember the English word right now. Anyways, this icon, you click on that, and then you can go here and just search for anything and see if my channel is covered. So how do you write carousel? Carousel. Is that right? Yeah, there we go. You can see Instagram carousel and grid effect, right? So you can save it like that. And what this basically does is that you have these lines here set up like so. You basically don't need the lines because you make. By the way, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that should work. If you we can try that real quick. You go to the export persona, and then you set up these squares that you want to export, right? So I will just do some of them as a test, and then we will save this as a file. Let's go here, test export. Okay, save, and then I will close this, and then wait a second. Okay, this is in the background, so that's good. Let's close this software also. Let's open it up again. And then let's see if it's still there. I think it's still there. And then this means you can use it as a template, right? So let's go to recently. So a test export, there it is. And then we go to the export persona. And there it is. You can see, so the slices are still there. So you set these up so they fit to the carousel. And then the only thing you have to do over here is uncheck the background, of course, like so. And then just click on export slices. You see, in this case, it's 5 slices. In your case, it's going to be 9 slices, or as many slices as you want, right? That depends on that. The 9 slices is actually for this trick where you want to have your full page covered, as you see, with one picture, which I don't know if that's a great idea because, well, it also works on the app. Actually, it also works on the app. If you go to the, one second, if you go to your profile on the app, you also have this 3 raster. One second. Yes, as you can see here, this is what it looks like on the app. So you can have like one picture spread out over 9 pictures on Instagram and have one big picture on your profile. And the other one is just like you select different parts, but you can still set up those frames here in the right square size and then just move it around wherever you need that, right? You can just grab it and move it around. So that might be helpful. All right, it's probably better for the other effect. Anyways, okay. So I would say let's go over to the reviews maybe. Hi, Richard. How do you make that green post? How does that work? Is that it's not a donation, right? How did you do that? That's interesting. Okay. Usually this green like overlay is when there's a donation. So that's interesting. It's a magnifying glass. Yes, magnifying glass. That's right. It's the search button, right? It was interesting to see behind the scenes. No questions so far. Okay, pretty awesome. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I have to open up the Instagram accounts over here on my second screen first. So I check if everything is okay. We don't have anything that's in violation with the YouTube regulations. And then we can have a look at that. Okay, so this is the first one. Let's have a look at that. Zip. Where is it? There we go. Okay. The first one is by Farqualit Photography. I hope I pronounced that right. I'm not sure. So you have some hashtags in here. That's good. You have your website in here so people can click on that. That's also good. I don't know how to do those, by the way. I've never found that out. By the way, I'm not doing that much on Instagram myself. I'm using it mostly to just once in a while post stuff. I need to get more active, but I'm also very slow with editing these pictures. So yeah, you have a lot more followers than me on Instagram. Because it's also by the way, the reason for that is also because I want to concentrate on my main channel and put all the energy in my main community on YouTube, right? So this is also why I started for a short time a vlogging channel. And then I didn't use it that much anymore. Maybe I'm gonna do some more videos about that in the future. But the reason for that is it took a lot of time to create that second channel, and it was somewhat successful, but I found like it's better for me to invest that time into my main community on the main channel. And also, this would have meant that I had to create at least 1 or 2 extra videos per week, which take 5 to 10 times more energy and time to create that, so that all of that didn't make sense. So I dropped that again. Okay, let's go as a review for this channel. Okay, so mostly portrait stuff. You also have these, you see these little icons here, so you can click on that. And there's, oh, you can also go sideways. I didn't know that. So you can see there's also stuff I don't know about Instagram. Yeah, well, it's pretty interesting to have different versions of that. Pretty cool, right? So this is a good thing also to get people more interested, give them a little bit more insight into what you're doing. You can also do behind the scenes things, right? So you have a choice on how many pictures you put here. So you can also do one where you have the finished picture, and then one where you show the trick of how it actually works, or have some behind the scenes videos of how to put on the makeup on or stuff like that. It's also interesting for people, right, to get this kind of additional information if this is how you want to set up your channel, by the way. Pretty cool. Very consistent, as you can see. All of them are portraits. I mean, some of them are a little bit more fantasy. The others are not that fantasy themed, but that's, I would say, still okay. Some cool tricks in here also. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. Very nice. So yeah, this, I mean, and this is the good thing, right? If you do it for professional reasons, people come to you for a certain reason. Because like, imagine if you go to, I don't know, a bakery store, you want to have baking goods, right? You don't want to have sunscreen there. You don't want to buy a shoe at the baking store, right? So it like wouldn't make much sense to mix that stuff. Unless that's your business concept. Some do. But you know what I mean by that, right? So it would be confusing if you have portraits and then suddenly you photograph something completely else. It would alienate the community. So this is very focused around portraits. So that's pretty cool and has a consistent style. All of them are very similar from the colors that you are using. From the style that you're also creating. By the way, this is really interesting, and you will find this on almost every Instagram account. The more you scroll down, the pictures are older, of course, so you can see the development of the artist over time, how they have become better over time and more skilled in their craft, right? So this is really interesting to also have a view at how did they start, what changed over time, because of course nobody's born as an expert. So it's also good for yourself if you see all these kind of really amazing works online and think, oh my God, they're also good, but then you scroll down and see, okay, they have all started somewhere, right? So that's good. And you can also see here that the older pictures are of a different quality, I would say, like have a little bit less skill in there because of course they are older pictures, right? So that's quite normal. That's quite okay. By the way, you should also look up, I mean, there's quite a lot of pictures on here, but sometimes also in my case, if you switch over from a private account to a professional account, but still use the same account, I'm the worst example in this case because I kept everything on there, just all the private pictures and stuff like that, and only recently deleted it like 2 days ago, right? So I was very lazy about that. But this is also because I'm not like pushing too much attention to my Instagram account yet, so that's quite okay. Okay, yeah, pretty interesting. You see, for a very long time, you have been very consistent with the portrait things, right? So that's interesting. And you can look into your statistics to see what do people like more, or what kind of interaction. If they write comments, what kind of comments are they? If they write you messages, what kind of messages are they? What are they asking about? What are they interested in? And then you can build maybe towards these interests to give them more of that and get more specific, because the good thing about a niche is that you can refine the niche all the time. You can get better at that and have a better understanding of what is actually interesting for the community. What do they like? What don't they like? And there's different kind of content also. So for example, on YouTube, it's there is like maybe also here, it's called hero content, where you know it gets a lot of views, but you don't want to do that all the time. And then you have, for example, also fan service, where you do stuff that you know only interests people who have been with you for a longer time, or maybe they understand the inside joke that you're doing, stuff like that. So for example, on my channel, I sometimes do videos where I know, okay, this is a very basic topic, but I know a lot of people will watch it and a lot of people will like that content. So it draws in new attention and people can share it easily because it's a very broad problem that everybody has. But then I also want to do things that are more specific, where I know most or like a large part of the community is not into it, but I know some people in the community are into it enough to validate to post that. And it's a service also to people who have been with me for a long time because they had these kind of questions. I want to answer them. So I make a video where I know I get less views for them, but it's good for the community at the same time, because you not only want to have people come in, you want to also keep the people around, right? And if everything is just like come, and then there's nothing after they went through the door, then that's not so great. So you have to mix it a little bit, right? Okay, pretty cool account. Really like that. Very nice. I don't know what else to say right now. Okay, let's have a look at the next account, I would say, from Mike Wiener. Okay, there we go. Let's close this real quick here and then have a look at if this is okay. Oh, again, well, mostly consistent. Oh, okay, so this is more of a like mixed account, I would say. Let's see. Oh, by the way, I forgot about the question. What was there a question? He said, so the one before, Farqualit said, I made this account to separate my personal account from my photography after my photography habit turned into a passion and freelance work. So that's good to split those up. My goal with this account is TK. I don't know what TK means. Have my most up-to-date work for potential clients to see. So that's good to have a portfolio to see what can you do. And what is your main field of work. And by the way, this is also an interesting point. If you start out, you often try to satisfy everyone because you think, well, maybe someone's going to pay me for that. Who knows? So I want to show them too that I can do that. So you offer all kinds of things, all kinds of services. But it's actually better to be specialized at one area. It's a little bit frightening, of course, when you say, okay, I'm going to say no to like 90% of the stuff that I could do and just say yes to 10% of the stuff I can do. But then you can be very good at that. For example, think about a company that makes websites for everybody, every kind of purpose. They can do it, I'm sure, but they are not specialized in anything. Now, if you say, I make websites, but just for yoga trainers, not Tai Chi, not what else is out there, I don't know, karate or all this kind of stuff, just yoga. I'm specializing in yoga. What is their need? What is their lingo? What are their colors? What are their clients? What are their needs? And you really specialize in that. That makes you very professional in a very small niche, and you can deliver what they need and you understand their problems because you have a lot of experience about that. So this makes you a better solution for them. So if they have the choice between you and some person who just makes websites, you will be their choice, right? So this gives you an edge over the other people. And also you can focus your marketing just on these people. By the way, this reminds me, I'm also working on an online workshop to start your online business. I will start this, by the way. I thought I will start it this month, but it's not a good idea. End of the year is kind of not a good time, so we'll start it at the start of next year in January. So we'll finish all of that. It will be 6 weeks long. I will do live streams and give you exercises and PDFs to download and an exclusive Facebook group where we can talk with each other. So everything is just for that course. That's not an advertisement, just telling you, I just reminded myself that I'm going to do this because, as you can see, I'm really passionate about these things on how to build up a business. And I feel every time I meet someone, sorry that I'm going into every time I meet someone who tells me about their job and what they do, my first question always is, but don't you want to do it like self-employed on your own? Because it's always from my mind is, why wouldn't you do it on your own? Why would you do it for another company? Because, and this is the big thing for me, if you do it for another company, you realize their dreams. So they get big, not you. You get the same pay all the time, right? And they keep the stuff you create, which for me is mind-boggling, right? I create something amazing for a company. They have success with what I designed, and then they say, okay, and now you're fired because we don't want to pay you anymore. It's good. Goodbye. But we're going to keep your stuff. What? No, I'm not going to do that. I keep my stuff. I own that because it's my brain who came up with that. And I know monthly pay is going to fix that, right? So I'm always in the area of, hey, I want to be self-employed. I want to do that and do whatever I want to do, right? This is also important for me. Okay, sorry for that. Let's go back to the, and by the way, we have so many accounts here to look at. I shouldn't talk too long about, about all these kind of things. Sorry for that. I hope it's still interesting. Okay. So let's look at this account. What did he, oh, he just posted the account. Okay, freelance photographer, main focus, cemetery, churches, architecture, landscape, street, live concerts, all what I see through my lens. That's already not that great to say that. Is there a freelance requirement or market for cemetery photography? What would, I mean, at what moment do you need photos at a cemetery? Do they make photos when someone gets buried? That's a little bit strange. I know marriage photographers and baby photographers, but when you die, is there like photo guys there who take pictures of the... Really? I don't know. Or, I mean, one thing I can understand is like, for example, cosplayers who do like gothic outfits of movie characters and they want to photograph that on a graveyard, right? Cemetery. So that makes sense. I'm a bit confused. Okay. This is also not great. Don't write WordPress in here. Reroute your domain to that subfolder. Don't have WordPress. That looks not so professional. So this, I would change that. And concentrate on one thing. Like I said, you don't have to share. You can be passionate about everything in your life. That's okay, but show one thing, right? For example, think about Jim Carrey. He's an actor, but he's also a painter. Do you care about his paintings? I don't think so, because who cares about what Jim Carrey's painting? Well, do it in your free time. That's great, and maybe some people look at it. That's also great, but it would be kind of strange if he makes a movie and then in the movie he also says, hey, look, and now I show you my paintings, right? So that's, or maybe, I don't know, other people, you know what I mean. Okay, so focus on one thing maybe. So here we have some cool nature pictures, very nice, consistent style here. Pretty cool. And then we have some black and white stuff from cemeteries. This is like a bird here. From a video, okay. And so now it gets mixed. Suddenly we have a moon. There we have a picture that's not that great edited. This is, I don't know what's happening here. It looks like someone's doing his business in the woods. Dropping a log, if you know what I mean. So I wouldn't mix that. If that's your professional account, you want to attract customers, like archive a lot of that stuff and focus on what can you do, right? What is the thing you want to sell to the customers? And by the way, this is another thing. Figure out what most people actually pay for, right? Because there's always this kind of 80-20 thing, right? So you get 80% of your income from 20% of your things that you offer, right? So you can actually say, if I only get 20% from the other 80% of what I'm offering, what I'm doing, why not just drop them, right? And focus on the 20% where you get 80% and turn these 80% into 100% or maybe 160% because you're now a professional and an expert in that area, right? So that makes a lot of sense. So yeah, I mean, you're a great photographer of these different areas, but they are different areas. So I don't know. It's very mixed. The pictures are great. The pictures are really great, but it's very mixed, right? So you have a little like live concert, suddenly landscape video. And I don't know, think about what are you passionate about? What do you want to do mainly with your thing? And then there's some like obviously private pictures, or maybe this is a street photograph. It looks very like a private picture, like this is a friend of yours. I don't know. This is a private picture for sure. Also from the kind of editing, I think this is straight from the camera. And you have to think about the perspective of the customer because they are very conscious about that. And the biggest fear of a customer is, do I get the worth of my money? Because they worked hard for their money, so they don't want to give their money up. So you have to have that is more worth than their money, so they want to give it to you, right? So if it looks like, well, you do all kinds of stuff, and it might be good or not, because they expect that this is going to be your best work ever. So they will think, well, on average, probably it's less than what he shows on his portfolio because the portfolio is already a selection. So if there's stuff in there that's not so great or kind of just from all kinds of backgrounds, that might not be so good for the customer, right? And again, like, think about an example from your perspective, right? If you go to a sushi restaurant, but they also have pasta and, I don't know, hot dogs and burgers and Indian food, and they have, I don't know, whatever you can think of as food. How good can they be at sushi, right? Compared to one guy who just does sushi, right? So think about that in the sense of your Instagram account if you want to do it as a business, right? Okay, so pretty cool pictures, but very mixed. I would clean that up a little bit and focus on one thing and think also about the needs of this area and what they need from you and from the things you can offer. Maybe you can design different kind of packages for them in your offering, and also their workflow. Maybe for music, they want to have like different formats and stuff because they are on Spotify and YouTube and Facebook, and so they need all these kind of different things for marketing and behind the scenes stuff, while if you're on a cemetery, they probably don't need behind the scenes stuff, right? Or different social media formats and stuff like that, right? So that's like different branches, and then you can offer something very specific to that. All right, let's go to the next one. Is this interesting when I'm talking right now, or is it like, oh my God, what was all the business talk all of a sudden? Okay, there we go. Wait, I shoot portraits in a cemetery. Oh, interesting, but I didn't mention the place in my post. I see, okay. This is your Instagram? No, because it's a different, it was from Mike Wiener. David King says, got some plans to boost the professional profile in 2021. We'll be looking into redoing website and Instagram. So this is an interesting view. Someone has, okay, great. Okay, that's great. That helps people. I suppose there's an Instagram posting schedule like there is with YouTube videos. Yes, there is. You can, by the way, you go to Facebook Creator Studio. Look for that, Facebook Creator Studio. And then you go on there like so. And now you can see a little bit of my stats here. Not that interesting. And up here, you have Facebook and Instagram, because Instagram is owned by Facebook. If you didn't know, now you know. It's a Facebook company. They have bought it some years ago. And you can go here. And as you can see, I can create a post and it can schedule that post, right? And you can create Instagram feed posts and Instagram TV posts, which is videos, which might also be interesting. And you can schedule posts for the next weeks, right? So you have one occasion, you sit down on one day, full afternoon, create one post after another, and just have good content lined up. And I would say don't schedule all of your posts, because you want to also interact with your community and stuff like that and react to things that's happening. Maybe to get more free time, schedule every second post, stuff like that. But this is also important for how you work, how you tick, how it feels to you. For example, I tried it with YouTube. It doesn't work for me because I need to be connected to the software and to my community. If I don't do Affinity Photo for 2 weeks or 3 weeks because I have already created the tutorials, the next time I do it, I'm not as good because I lack 3 weeks of recording tutorials. So the quality goes down. So this is why I always create my tutorials fresh for the community right before I upload it. But you can maybe save some time that way. Okay, let's go to the next one. Let's see. Okay, nice. So this is also good. Let's pull this over here. This is Rob's Images. 000. What is that? That's also maybe a little bit strange. Other accounts, we have another account too. I hope there isn't. Let's see. Is there anything up there that's... Oh, it's very similar actually. More abstract though. Interesting. So what's the purpose of the other account? In search of shadow, light, texture, patterns, and occasional color. Okay. So that's also good. Look at this. So this is the second account. This is not the one you showed me for review, but the good thing here is you have a very like clear theme. The people come to your profile and they read that and they say, oh, okay, that's interesting. So you're looking for shadow, light, texture, patterns, and the occasional color. And when you scroll through that, it's mostly kind of abstract pictures that are about color and structure and patterns. So that's pretty interesting. So that's actually consistent to your theme, right, of that account. So that's pretty awesome. Okay, let's go to this one. Also have the... wait, I will close this so I know where the chat is. Okay, cool. There we go. Oh, wait a second. There have been some new comments. Before we look at that, let's drag this over here again. 1 second. Random pictures of cats? Okay. I suppose there are Instagram posting schedules like there is with YouTube. Yes, there are. Instagram, you always have to crop your photos in a square format. Yeah, that's a drawback. What you can do if you want to is that you... Oh, I know what this is, Richard. I thought this is a message here. No, you subscribe to my channel. Hey, thank you very much for that. That's pretty awesome. Thank you, Richard. I didn't. Sorry, I'm an idiot. I didn't realize that. Okay, thank you very much. What did he say? Yeah, you can make a square canvas and then make a neutral background and then put your picture in there in the full size or in the full ratio. I mean, like if it's longer or if it's more horizontal, stuff like that. The downside to that though is that it's going to be smaller on the screen that you're looking at, right? So you lose a little bit of that. So I decided that I will let's just like crop it square or 4:5 and then post some details where I can see some more of that. Yeah, but it's a downside. That's true. Of course, it's not my Instagram. I just mentioned it because you can make cool pictures in the cemetery. Yes, absolutely, you can. Yeah. There is no need to advertise that type of location. Maybe not. Yeah. David says, okay, I need to check out the creative studio. There is also, by the way, there's also a business studio that kind of has a similar functions, but you can do also advertisements in there. So yeah. Okay, cool. Let's close this. I have it over here on this, so I can still see the chat. So this is more like a private account, I guess, where you post everything that doesn't fit the other content, I guess. So very nice pictures, very nice colors also. There's a black and white picture in here. Oh, there's some details. Let's look at that. Okay, 4x5. Yeah, interesting. Little detail of that. Is it the same picture? No, it's a different picture. You can see there's a little bit of bokeh ball back here, which you don't find here, so that's different. Interesting, pretty cool. Oh, by the way, as you can see here, these hashtags, they are also interesting and kind of important, because then people can find it. If they go to search, they can see these kind of tags here. I have heard that it's better to write a little bit of a story in here and use these words in the story, and then also create some hashtags. Because if you have too many hashtags, it might not be as valued by their algorithm. But as you know, that's just guesswork, right? So nobody knows how this algorithm works. But I've heard that the story up here kind of should work better. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, so a lot of nature stuff in here, some more abstract stuff. So I don't know if this is like a private account or a professional account, but I guess it's private because you didn't link any of a website or stuff like that. Yeah. Okay. I really like that. Very nice editing also, very consistent. And that's also a thing like with the kind of, okay, here goes a little bit in different areas, but from the color styles you're using, from the kind of adjustments you do to your photos, if you do it for a professional reason, there's a high there's a lot of consistency in there. That's also a good thing, you know. And also shows, again, like you're consistent, you work concentrated on your style, on the things you're doing. You can, of course, be a little bit different in the things you try. But if it's very different from what you're doing, one picture is like that and the other one is completely different, that's a little bit confusing to customers. If it's in a professional way. If it's private, do whatever you like and have just fun with that, be experimental. Which is also a good thing, by the way. If you have a private account next to your professional account, or if you even have an account that has like a fake name so people don't connect it to your main account, you can experiment. You can see what people like, if it works. If it doesn't work, go really crazy with that, and put all kinds of stuff up there to see, does it resonate with people, right? And maybe you find something that works really great, that people enjoy a lot. And also you have an outlet for your creative needs, you know, so you can do whatever you want. Yeah, pretty cool. Very mixed again. Lots of different stuff in here from all kinds of types of photography. And I think your main thing are really these kind of patterns and also maybe architecture. So yeah, and then also you have some nature pictures in there, but I feel like these pattern pictures are more, they have more expression, they have more power in them. The other pictures are good too, but they are not as, how can I say, not as, not, but it's wrong to say not as specific. They are, I don't know the right word. They are less your thing. I don't know how to, because these are more like, okay, you can see them on stock pages anyways. They are not like expressing something special that you recognized in the world and created as an artistic work, as a picture. And then you have these pattern pictures, and they are more specific to a certain kind of artistic expression of what you want to do, right? So this is something you probably don't find that easy on a stock page, right? While these, let's say this is a very classic dune picture that you find a lot on stock pages, right? So but I mean, probably you can make more money with this than with the other picture. So that always depends. That's a really cool picture. Oh, very emotional look of the cat. All right, really cool. It's very nice pictures, really cool. What is that? That looks like something from the Matrix. Playing with glass this afternoon for the first assignment of the photography course I recently started with. Oh, interesting. Okay. That is a really interesting picture. Okay. Like I said, these pattern things, these abstract things, that's really your kind of style. Right. It's also interesting. Like I say, yeah, pattern, abstract, cool, interesting. Yeah, but you know, you need to know what you want to do, of course. Wow, what is that? Is that an artwork? I guess so. Picture taken. Oh, yeah, H.R. Giger Museum. Right. Oh, a friend of mine, she said, oh, I want to go with my child to that because he's a like Giger fan. And I was like, do you mean the movie stuff or do you mean the art stuff? Because the art stuff is kind of different, not really child safe, not even work safe. So he does some naughty stuff in his artworks. I'm not sure if this is, I've never been to the museum, but I know his other artworks that he did also before the Alien movies. So yeah. Very cute. Okay, let's go to the next account, I would say. Let's see. Where are we? Oh my God, I really have to go faster. How long have we streamed so far? 1 hour, that's pretty good. By the way, today I'm just talking about Instagram and looking at these things, right? I'm not doing other stuff in Affinity Photo, so all of the time is about Instagram today, just so you know. Let's find the next account here. This is from Anita. Oh, interesting. Oh, look at that. Okay. Uh-huh. Oh. Okay. All right, so there's a lot of different stuff in here. Looks safe. Okay, so have a look at that. All right. I'm a photographer from Hungary. My passion is portrait and documentary. There's the website link. What does she write over here? I have a photographer account and a graphical account. I don't want to mix. I post rarely because I'm learning graphic. Okay. So I guess you mean graphic design account or something like that, like vector graphics, stuff like that. Okay, pretty interesting. Yeah. By the way, if you wonder what is cosplay, that's kind of kinky stuff or something. Cosplay means that you play a character from a film or from an anime movie or series or stuff like that. So stuff like this, you know, you have these anime characters. You have a little bit of Harry Potter stuff. That's what cosplay is, you know, because some people are confused. It sounds a little bit strange, the word cosplay, but this is what it is. So a lot of people do that. It's becoming more and more famous, actually. Yeah, pretty cool. All right, so there's a lot of different stuff on here. There's some effects here with the lightning. And you have more these kind of, how I say, portraits that are like classic paintings, like this one, classic style, or down here with this one also, I would say. This here, nice light in the background, stuff like that. And then more these flashy ones, more like pop from the color, from the style, from the subject also. So that's interesting. There's like different styles in there. Okay. This is this kind of cyanotype that I also put in my black and white pack, but I think you did this on your own because this is like a this kind of contact copy, I would assume, you know, where you put for example, you put the objects on the photo paper, then put some light on that, and this makes a shadow, and this is where you get the shape from. I think it was popularized by Man Ray in art. So yeah, that's really interesting. Here's some black and white photography. This is what I meant before. You see, it's like a square background, and then you have this kind of cutout here, or not cutout, but where you put your image on there. So it's like the original ratio, and you still have the square format that's for Instagram, right? Okay. Yeah. So it's very varying from the quality, of course, and from the things you're doing. But you said you're still learning, so that's good, and you just try out all the kind of different things. And that's also okay, you know, if you're still learning and this is just like your student account, basically, where you show all the different styles of that you do, all the, like, you just have fun learning photography and all these kind of different editing techniques and stuff like that, and want to share them with your friends. To show them what you do, what you learn, stuff like that. It's also pretty cool. But then I would make, when you go more professional, I would make a separate account where you just concentrate on the thing you want to actually do as work, and not use this account for the same purpose, right? So, or like archive all the old stuff, which is probably very work intense. If you have a lot of pictures, if you have hundreds of pictures, you will sit there for hours archiving them, because you can't just select all of them to do that, as far as I know. And yeah, and then just put on your professional stuff, like the niche you want to concentrate on. But you can see here, because you're learning, there's a lot of different styles and qualities and all kinds of things on here. But it's pretty interesting. For your other, like, fellow students and family and friends, this can be really interesting. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And I mean, you have a lot of experimentation in here. Yeah. One thing I would look for in the pictures, for example, like this picture here and that one and these down here, is it is not just about the way you take the picture, but afterwards also about the adjustment for the color gradings and this kind of bringing a special style, a special expression into the picture that separates it from being just a photo to creating something that looks very interesting and professional. So that's kind of the big difference. If you just do it everything in the camera and then just like white balance and then post it on there, it most of the time just looks like a picture. So you have to, what's the English word? Alleviate? Is that the English word? Like, you have to push it higher. You have to make it, you have to go beyond a picture. And this is mostly done with editing and bringing in interesting colors and interesting editing to making something more than it is, you know? Especially since we have digital photography and digital editing. And also a big reason for that is because now that we have the software, the expectation of the viewer, of course, is different than it has been in the past, right? Because in the past, you simply couldn't do these things. So people didn't expect them from you, but now you can do them. So they have a certain kind of expectation for that kind of style and quality and level of professionalism, right? Of course, that's different for documentary photos, where it has to be as natural as possible, as not edited at all. So that's a different thing. If you do like journalism, stuff like that, you usually don't edit pictures at all, because it's an interference with the documentary and the ethics of like just showing what's going on there as a like witness, photographic witness, if you know what I mean. All right, so that's pretty interesting. Okay, so this is more like a learning account. It's pretty cool, right? That's very interesting. Yeah, play around with the different styles and the learning and share it with the community. And I mean, a good thing is also to ask for feedback, right? So people appreciate often that you say, okay, I don't know everything. There are things I can't do. There are things that I don't understand, especially if you're young. If you ask, a lot of people want to help you at that point and say, hey, yeah, that's cool. You're interested. I like to share my knowledge with you, so I'm happy to help. So that's also a good point. If you have an account like this, learning account, use it to ask questions and see what you can learn from other people, or how you maybe also can build a network over time to other, like people who make the makeup and are knowing about good locations, or can make all the props that you need, or people who are good with lighting or stuff like that. You can build a network of people. That's also very important, especially when you start out, right? Okay, let's go to the next account. Thank you very much, Anita. The next one is from Narel, I think. I should also look at the chat. 1 second. Let's have a little chat session here. Bloop. There we go. What did I miss? To boost professional profile? No. Not my Instagram. Okay. Launford. Okay, there was just one new comment. Okay, that's good. Hi, Tree Art. Thanks for joining. Okay, let's put this over here again. Let's close this. Okay, there's the account. Let's see. Okay, that's good. Birds. This is from Nerle. Oh, sorry, Nerel. Okay, pretty awesome. E-Business Manager. Okay, and then you have your account, but it doesn't have anything to do with photography. So this is kind of like a private passion, basically, that you're showing here with bird nature photography. So pretty interesting. Very nice. And very consistent also. So that's pretty cool. It's a little bit of other nature, but I mean, still fits in there. Some flowers. And again, like, I mean, it really depends on what you want to do and how much you want to edit your pictures. Like, but again, if you edit it and bring more color grading and more style into them, and maybe also more consistency to bring them together a little bit more from the colors, that creates a better overall impression on the pictures. But you can also say, like I said, if you want to keep it really natural, so you see as it was, as the camera saw it, just the picture fresh out of the camera, just a little bit of adjustment, that's also great. That's also good. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. So they are not very edited. So they're still like very natural. This is what I mean. I don't know, maybe you spend a lot of time editing, but they still look very natural and authentic from the colors and everything, right? So that's pretty interesting. Yeah. And by the way, like I always say, if you have people you really like on what they do, for example, for this kind of nature photography, look at what they are doing with the photographs and also how they are photographing their pictures. And also look online for different kind of tutorials on not only the editing, but also the kind of photography they are doing, because you can improve a lot by just picking up their tricks and tips and styles and stuff like that. You can really jump in big leaps by doing that, because figuring out creative stuff for yourself is really, really, really hard. So it's a lot easier to just look at, hey, what did they do? Okay, I will try to do the same, and then you can improve from there, right? So for example, a classic thing is let's look at this photo here. You have a bird, and it's photographed because we are bigger than the bird. It's photographed from top down. So what you see in the background is just grass. And this is very flat, of course. Now, what a lot of photographers do, if they photograph a bird, is they lower the camera very like down to the ground. So when you photograph the same picture, suddenly you have a horizon in the background. You see some sky, you see some clouds, and it's also, you have a nice bokeh because it's very much in the distance and stuff like that. So the bird is separated from the background. So that's an easy trick. Just push your camera down. If you're not that good with going down to the ground yourself, just put it on an upside down tripod or a one leg tripod. Hold it down there, have a remote, take some pictures from down there so you don't have to go to your knees. So that can be helpful. For example, you can do different things, right? So yeah, that's just one thing that comes to my mind is these kind of things, what you can do with them. Or how did photographers, like nature photographers, how do they get the animals to come there, to have them in certain situations? Do they lure them there, maybe put some treats on the ground so you get them? What time of day are they there? Stuff like that, you know, that helps a lot to improve with these kind of things, right? And often people are very open about that, right? If you have a photographer you like a lot, you can write them an email and say, hey, I like this photo a lot. How did you do that? How did you get that animal to like do this thing right when you took a picture? And they will give you some tricks about that, right? So for example, Another thing, by the way, I think modern cameras can do that because I know this from like, oh God, it's like 20 years ago. I'm old. Okay, anyways, there was this like autofocus trap basically. So you put the camera there, and every time something comes into the focus of the camera, it would take a picture. So this is, for example, something where you build up the camera there, and you have a little bit of a treat there, and when the bird or any other animal comes to eat that treat, it steps into focus, so the camera takes some pictures. You don't have to be there, right? You can just leave the camera there for some hours in an area where it's a little bit more remote, so nobody's stealing your camera. So those kind of things, right? That's what I'm talking about. So pretty cool. Very nice account. Very consistent with the bird pictures. Really cool. So yeah, that's amazing. Oh, by the way, how is it with your posts? Let's have a look here. Yeah, you do a little bit of writing, a little bit of sorry, my brain. Hashtags. A little bit of hashtags. Maybe write a little bit more about what's going on here, and a little bit more hashtags. I also find it a good idea to write, for example, the camera and the lens you're using at that moment, because people often search for that on the internet, and they, for example, want to have a sample picture of that camera. What can it do? So you will get more views from that, right? And also be creative with the hashtags, and also don't just use, for example, a hashtag bird, but be a little bit more specific. So bird is very big, so there's a lot of other pictures in the category bird. But if you say South American bird or something like that, you know, or Austrian mountain birds as a hashtag, that's very specific. Not too much other stuff will be in there. So you don't compete with millions of pictures. You only compete with maybe thousands of pictures. So you can also get more views from that. This is a little bit of a niche you can also do with the hashtags, right? All right. Let's go on to the next one. Puina is the next one here. Let's have a look at the chat real quick. Nothing. Okay. Okay, I didn't check this one, but I think it's okay. It looks okay. Yeah, that's good. Oh, again, well, mostly consistent. Wow, what is this? Is that fire? Or is it like a laser light? This might be a LED light, I guess. Yeah, light painting. Looks pretty cool. Looks like a flame. That's an interesting effect, right? Okay. Good. Okay, so this is a private account, apparently. No website here or anything. Okay. And you have a lot of nature pictures in here. Wow. Again, very like different quality. For example, if this would be a professional account, I would say, okay, let's maybe archive some of the pictures, because this one, for example, is not that great. And this one is really great here, down here. Really cool picture of that. And this is like, I mean, it's not so easy to photograph that I understand. So this is kind of, I feel it's like a complex subject to photograph this in a good way. But it's not that good of it's a good photo for private reasons. For professional reasons, not that interesting. Maybe you could do more with editing here. But this one or this one here, they look really cool. This one looks really cool. Do you have a drone? Is this a drone picture? Or like from a mountain? No, this is from a mountain. So it's with a Canon EOS 80D. Okay, so that's interesting. Yeah, so you can separate them out a little bit and just like archive the things. I mean, like I said, it's a private account, so just leave the stuff on there, but for professional reasons is what I mean. Pretty interesting. Let's have a look here. So you see, this is one thing that I'm a little bit worried about when I use different formats on Instagram is in Square, you have this sticking into the picture and it looks odd to crop it like that. Also, this isn't centered in the Square view, so it looks like, nah, you know what I mean? And then you click on it and it's actually okay, but this is the thing you see first before you click on that. So this is why I don't like that they did that you can do different formats, you know? It makes it more confusing. There's another one, not so great as a picture. So, yeah. You really have a knack for photographing water and this kind of reflections, I would say. Also here and there, interesting. So everybody has kind of a specialty, you know. Of course, it's very nice pictures. Yeah, they're very cool, very interesting pictures. So I make a little bit of trick pictures also here, like popping a water balloon. If it loads, there we go. So that's pretty interesting. So playing around with different kind of ideas and concepts. That's also nice. Hey, is this one of my tutorials, how to create a planet? It's one of my old tutorials, but I don't think, because I don't have this kind of look for the planets. Mine look a little bit different because I create them from moss. But maybe you did the same thing, but used, maybe this is a stone texture or something. That could be. I'm not sure. Interesting. Oh, here we have either Affinity Resolution or Pix Imperfect, because they did the exact same tutorial. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. Okay, I'm getting inspired by other YouTubers too, so that's totally okay. Don't worry about that. Okay. All right. So a lot of these trick photos here now has some nature in here. So again, like it's a lot of different stuff in here. You are really good at these white landscape pictures. I would say if you do it professionally or something, focus on that, because they are really good. Really like that. By the way, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked again. The reason why I bought this lens, I actually wanted to buy the 14 by 24, but that's for landscapes, and I'm living in a big city, so I thought, okay, maybe buy one that's good for the city. But at some point I want to get the other lens too. Maybe next year. Let's see if I hit some goals. If things work out. How is it with you? By the way, that's maybe a good question to also get the chat a little bit more active. When you buy something, do you feel you have to earn it first, or you just buy it? Because for me, it's like I would have never bought these kind of expensive lenses and camera and spent so much money on equipment if it wasn't for you, right? I wouldn't have done it for myself. I bought it because I know I do it as a job. I do it for professional reasons. I want to give you good quality, so that's worth it. So I'm willing to spend all that money on myself for my own photographic interest. I wouldn't have spent that money, you know? So I have to I feel like I have to earn it. It has to have a purpose. It has to be connected to a validated purpose. In this sense, that's you. So I don't know. I'm like that, you know? There's a lot of stuff I don't buy because I think, well, do I really need it? Do I really deserve it? You know, this kind of thing. Okay, interesting. Yeah, great nature pictures. I really like best your pictures where you have these big, huge landscapes with a lot of foregrounds, nice wide angle lens. This is what the wide angle lens also does for you. It gives you this extra bit on the like area on the floor, on the ground. I don't know what to say by that. But it's like, this has this kind of concept. You can step into the landscape. I like this kind of thing. And this also is kind of, it's larger than life kind of feeling, you know, that's very nice. I'm a huge fan of that. So maybe this is why I like them the most. Oh, there's also this kind of long time exposure for the stars. Pretty cool. Hi, Stephen. Thanks for joining. Don't worry about being late. We're still in the middle of looking at different accounts. So pretty cool. Very nice. Very cool pictures. I really like that. Okay. Let's go up here. So let's go to the next one. Where do we go? Yeah. Oh, here comes Jean-Loup. He makes more creative pictures. I hope... Okay. Can we show that? Let me see. Okay, wait a second. That's okay, that's okay. That's that's okay. Okay, so this is from Jean-Loup. I'm not going to show the top 3 pictures. That's because there's one in there with a little bit of nudity, so I will spare that out and just show the other pictures. But you can see up here the name of the account. You can see Sholu007, and he makes these kind of artistic, funny collages. So that's kind of his thing, kind of this kind of humor and combination of different pictures, different ideas. So it's really interesting. He comes from a strong artistic background, even from connected to Vienna artistic history, from an art group that was very famous here in Vienna. And they had what do you say in English? Shared flat is not the right term. Like they live together in a commune. I don't know if this is the right. A commune, I think, is in English something different. It's when you drive to work, but it's like a community of artists, community of people. So he is from that community. So strong artistic background. Really interesting to meet people like that. And you can see also the influence and it's more fun based, of course. Different kind of approach. But still interesting, you know. You can do a lot of things with photography. It doesn't always have to be just a picture. You can do more with that and be really like a little bit goofy, a little bit funny about that, and make all these kind of interesting, crazy collages. So yeah, that's really interesting and something very different, you know. This can also be a benefit if you do something that other people don't expect, that's kind of very different, and they find that, and maybe you catch an interest and a lot of people are interested in that, then that means you are the only person who can provide that. The downside of that is you have to be creative, and this is the biggest that's the biggest problem, I would say, with that, because it is easy to be creative once. It is easy to be creative like 5 or 10 times, but to be consistently creative and deliver consistently high quality in a creative way, that is really hard. And this is also why you see a lot of artists failing or being just one-hit wonder, stuff like that, because they can do it once or twice or 3 times, but then it's over. There's nothing more, you know, or they need to like, refill. This is also an interesting thing that you might notice this also about yourself. Like you can be creative for a short time, like put out like 3, 4, 5 good ideas, and then you just need to take a break and do nothing for like 2, 3 months of like creative work on other stuff, and then it kind of fills up again and you can push out another creative idea. That's really interesting. I found that with myself in certain areas. For example, sometimes with music, sometimes with poetry that I'm writing, that it's really easy to do something interesting once, but you can't do it every day, you know. You can do the process every day, and this helps you get more professional over time, but most of that's going to be crap, and then once in a while something pops out that's really creative, right? So, but maybe that's just me, you know. Okay, so we wanted to talk about this account. It's like I don't know what to say, because it's very different, but it's really cool. It's interesting. It's just your style. It's something you like to do, and you have a lot of skill. If you look at the pictures, they might look very goofy and just like push together all kinds of different things, but actually there's a lot of skill in there to create these kind of things and to make it look like that. As you see down here. And he does it with a lot of ease also, I think. Like he just say, okay, I have this idea, and boom, it's there. Also with this kind of effect, with this kind of thing here. And it looks good and it looks consistent. This is also something, this kind of authenticity in a work, that you feel that the work is more than just the work, you know. This is kind of the mark of a really good work, is if you forget about it being a work. And it sounds counterintuitive, but what I mean by that, the easiest way to understand that is if you watch a movie and you forget while you watch it that you're watching a movie, you're just in the story, suddenly you're a part of that, and you're just like, oh, cool, wow, cool stuff going on, and you don't feel like you watch a movie. On the other hand, if you have a badly made movie, you're always reminded it's a movie. You just can't drop into that. You just can't like zone out and be part of that film, you know. So that's a big difference right there. And yeah, that's a big part of art also, to get from doing art to doing something that's more than art, right? So that's the biggest step, I guess, in art. Oh my God, there's a picture of me. Happy birthday picture. Okay. Oh, I think you posted it also on Facebook. I think I can remember that with my golden hat. Okay. Interesting. That's nice. There we have Picasso. All right. Okay, let's go to the next one. Enough talk about that. I hope there was talk about the account. I talked about more like general topics, but yeah. Let's see what the next one is. By Gary. Let's see, Gary. Yeah, that's okay. So we can have a look at that. By the way, if I open this and then close it. Okay, good. There we go. Fitzy Rage. That's the artistic name of the account, I guess. An Irish freelance photographer. Oh, an Irish freelance photography. Okay. But this is not the account where you try to find customers, right? Because there is no like link to anything, unless your thing is to like connect to them through Instagram, which can also be a thing, right? That you want people to write to you as a message through Instagram. That's also possible. It looks more like a private account, maybe, I guess. Isn't that this is this kind of famous actor, right? He's already dead. He played this kind of vicar on the... Was it in Ireland? No, what is Scotland? What did he say? Irish. Ireland on a little like a village or something, or an island. He was like put there, and then he has a house, and it's like a TV soap. Pretty funny though. I think that's the guy. Wait, let me see the chat. Marco says, if I'm really passionate about something, I really spend as much as I can. So that's also interesting. I think I'm too careful with that. Here's a funny story. When I made my first longer bicycle trip, so I cycled from Vienna to Berlin, and it was my first long trip. I actually just bought, first of all, I bought a bike on a flea market for $100. My friend said, hey, this is crap. It will break down. It has hold for several thousand kilometers until now. So it's still good. It's still a good bike. And I bought this kind of thing where you put the bags on it. But I didn't buy bags because I wasn't sure if I'm going to cycle more. So I bought some very cheap dry bags and put all my stuff into the dry bags, and then these rubber bands, and just put it on my cycle. So I had 3 bags on there, and I went with that. How far is that? I think 650 kilometers from Vienna to Berlin. So I was 6 weeks on the road. Because I wasn't sure, I didn't want to spend too much money, so I'm really careful with that kind of stuff. All right. Okay, let's look at the account. Okay, there's some nature stuff. So again, it's very mixed. There's some art styles here. This looks like Filter Forge, I guess, or some maybe other software. Maybe from, what are they called again? I forgot the name. So, how can I say? Don't get me wrong if I say this, but the kind of problem I have a little bit with the account is that the pictures are very normal in a sense, if you know what I mean. They don't have a specific perspective on that. They are consistent in that. So maybe that's your style. I say, okay, I just want to take pictures like people take pictures if they are out on the road and just see something and photograph it, but that's kind of a difficult selling point to say I photograph like everybody else who takes a picture with their phone or camera. So that might be a problem, because it's a really good thing to have either to fit with the photography to the industry you try to get into, or to develop an own artistic style and perspective for the works, so that people book you for a certain reason, right? And well, it's kind of hard to say anything about artistic style because it can be anything. Sorry, but if you, oh, I have to. Sorry, 1 second. Now, here's the difference. If you say I want to do it as art, as a free artist, you can do whatever you want and you can hope that people will buy it or not. That's the big risk of being a free artist. On the other hand, if you want to be a commercial photographer, so people book you and they pay you for a certain purpose, so you sell a product to them, a service to them, better said, then you have to figure out what is their need. That's the big difference between an artist and someone who does it as a service. Is the artist does whatever he wants and people come to that person because they like what this person is doing, but they are completely independent in that way. If you do a service, you care about what the customer wants from you and you want to have a service for them, right? So in that regard, you want to figure out the niche I want to break into. What kind of aesthetic do they like? What kind of photography? What kind of dynamic in the picture do they like? What kind of angles do they like? Stuff like that that could be interesting. What are usual things that people often use, for example? That's a big thing because people buy what they know. And this is also, you might think about yourself, well, I'm open-minded. Everybody thinks that, right? But if you think about spending money and someone says, hey, here's a new idea you've never heard about, you don't understand what it is, you don't understand if it has quality or not, or if it works or not, but please spend money on that, that's a pretty hard selling point because people don't trust that, right? It hasn't built up trust for them. On the other hand, if you sell something that is something that people understand very well, but you have a little twist on that, that makes it even more interesting and people even understand that twist, that's a very easy selling point on the other hand, right? So I don't have a good example for that, to be honest. What would be something... okay, here's an idea. For example, if you say I'm a yoga teacher, that's interesting, but everybody does that, right? That's not special, right? Everybody can become a yoga teacher and blah. It's like okay, but if you would say I have come up with a new thing, it's called Jubilee Chew, and it's all cool, and you should book me, and it's this much per hour. Nobody knows what you're talking about, so it's really hard to sell that. On the other hand, if you say, well, I'm not only doing yoga, let's say you're doing yoga for women who are either pregnant and about to give birth in the next 2 months, or have just given birth and are like 2 months away from that point of giving birth, right? They are in a very specific situation from their body, from their needs, and from the yoga if they want to do yoga. Maybe you do something where you say, okay, either this is good to help you with the birth or it's good to recover from the birth. This is a very specific niche, and people not only understand what is yoga, but they also understand what is birth and what is the need of the body before and after the birth, especially the women who give birth, right? So you have a very specific niche of understanding, and you have a very specific product that people might look for. So people will come to you because they say, I can't find it anywhere else, but you have it. And if you know what you're doing, that's good. And so this is an easy selling point. Yeah. So that's the thing, right? Okay. So I would try to figure out some kind of that way, in the photography, because they look normal. I can't phrase it another way. And please don't get me wrong. Please don't be angry about that. It's just like an advice. You can also say, no, it's like, I want to do my stuff. You don't have to listen to me. Okay. And again, maybe a good advice if you say, I don't know how to do that? How do I find that style? How to improve in that way? Again, look at the, like, if you say, I want to break into this kind of industry, whatever that might be, let's say it's product photography, then look at what product photographers do. Look at tutorials, look at people who you admire in their style, maybe write them an email, ask them some questions about that stuff, if they can help you or stuff like that, and what kind of equipment they use, what kind of tricks they use, stuff like that. And you can improve a lot in that kind of direction, you know? So yeah, that's a very good way to improve that and figure out what's the difference between a normal picture and this kind of specific picture that you want to take, right? And what makes, for example, the best people in the branch, in the business, what makes them better than the rest, right? Okay, good. I hope that's helpful. Okay, let's go to the next one. No, that's not it. I think it's this from Lucia. Is that the right way to pronounce that? Okay. Yeah, that looks good. Good, let's put this over here. Let's see what the chat is saying. Okay. Very quiet chat. Okay. So here we have some abstract. This reminds me of Gerhard Richter. He's a German modern painter, one of the most important painters right now in Germany. So he has some kind of abstract stuff also like that. Oh, if you click on that, it changes. That's interesting. Here it looks really blurry, and then you click on it, it's really sharp. Interesting. So what does the, wait, one second. What did you write? You said, I photograph anything and everything, but my teenager told me to stick to one genre of Instagram, so I now have a few accounts. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so you just made a bunch of accounts to just like spread it over them and be more specific in one account. Well, like I said, it really depends. Do you want to build up followers or not? If you don't want to build up followers, it's just for your friends, then do whatever you like. You don't care about if you have 100 or 1,000 followers or 10,000, doesn't matter in that case. But if your interest is to get followers, then yeah, do find your niche. So you have some abstract pictures and some bird pictures and more abstract pictures. Okay. So I guess you live at the coast. Wow, interesting. Huh. I'm somewhat surprised that the preview of your pictures is really blurry and then you click on it, it's a sharp picture. That is strange. That's the first time we're seeing this today, right? There's a huge difference. Look at that. Super blurry, not blurry at all. That is very strange. Oh, I like these. Like when you photograph through, I think, a window screen of your car. Pretty awesome. Okay, interesting. You have a lot of different formats in here with the white background. Abstract. Yeah, so you jump a little bit, as you can see yourself here. If you scroll through that, you jump a little bit between these abstract structures here, and then you have these like scenic photographs of, this case, boats and a little bit of landscape, and then some other stuff that is less abstract. So like this, for example. Yeah. So that's kind of mixing it. But like I said, if it's your private account, you can do that. I think you have a really good eye for these kind of abstract things and how they work out also in the composition to create something interesting. So that might be your thing. And like I said, you don't have to post everything, you see? You can just like... you can take all these other pictures, but you don't have to put them onto your Instagram account, right? You can just like say, okay, I'm just sharing these pictures. Or again, if it's a private account, just put on there whatever you want. That's also good. Okay. I hope, I don't know what else to say here. Pretty cool pictures, all of them, but very mixed also. So it's like, yeah, it's kind of mixed. All right. How long have we streamed? Okay, wow. How many more people do we have? Let's make a mark here and then go down. Oh my God, I have to go faster. I'm sorry. Jesse, okay, let's go a little bit faster maybe, because I think I have said the most important things and then they probably start to repeat now. But I kind of want to go through the accounts. So if I'm doing your account quick, look at the stuff I said before to other accounts, because it kind of covers the same things, right? So this is Jesse. What does he say? Not sure why. Give me your all over thoughts if you wish. Okay. Montana photography, all animals are wild and in natural habitat. All photos are owned and copyrighted by Jesse Ryan at Flying Ryan Productions. Okay, interesting. And then you have your link here. So this is maybe a more professional account. People like to photograph the moon for some reason. It's interesting. Some people here. Huh. There's a plane with a flag behind that. So again, the question is it a professional account or is it a private account? Because for a professional account, it's very mixed from what you're doing and from the different styles of editing. And you just push a lot of different things into here. You can see here is like a private, okay, we made some soup. And then there is some plane here. Then we have some animals in between here. Then there's the moon again. So it's a little bit, there's an eye for some reason. It's a little bit all over the place, you know? So if you want to be like, if it's a professional photographer as a wildlife photographer account, I would really concentrate on wildlife and post your best pictures, right? And concentrate on that. Maybe do some videos once in a while. There's a video. We can actually look at the video. What? Oh, okay, it's a time lapse. No, it's not. Yeah, it's a time lapse. With a car in there. Okay. So yeah. Figure that out, and you know, if you have pictures where you can amaze people and it's really interesting for them, they will come back to look at that. That's also a big part of that. How can I make people come back to it, and what will they expect when they come back to my picture? So, and this, by the way, is also something, this is very important. People scroll through Instagram and get suggested some stuff, and they see this picture, for example, you know, and then they come to your account, and then, I don't know, they see, for example, this and other stuff, and it's like everything like mixed in together. See, like this stuff and so on. They would think, okay, well, he had one good picture, but the rest is meh. It's not so much what I was looking for. So, well, I'm not gonna click the follow button in that case, you know, because they want to see, if they like this, they want to see more of this. They don't want to see cooking and planes and other stuff. They want to see this, right? So that's also a big thing to think about when people come to your account. What do you expect? What does bring them back? What maybe makes them also share the picture? It's also an important thing. How shareable is your content, right? This is called stickiness of content. How sticky is the content? You can also Google these kind of things. It goes sticky content. I hope there is. Oh, okay, there you go. Strategic marketing. No, this is. Oh, here. There we have Wikipedia. Sticky content refers to content published on a website which has the purpose of getting users to return to particular websites and hold their attention and get them to spend longer periods of time on the site. Right. There we go. So that's it. What do you want to create? And there's a lot of different, like, kind of. This, by the way, also talking about in the business course, if you're interested, hero content, sticky content, snackable media, all these kind of things of strategies of what you can create. Those are, different concepts. So this is a kind of a thing to think about. So if you say, hey, I'm the wildlife guy, all of them are the natural habitat, and then the second second photo is a church, and the fourth picture is, I don't know what this is, kind of an industry thing. Not very natural habitat like, you know. So if this is the first picture and then this is the second picture here and then this is the third picture, you're like, wow, there's some good stuff on here. Like really, this guy's in the wild, and maybe make a picture of yourself in the wild, or a film where you talk about, hey, I've been here for 5 hours, but I want to take a picture, blah, 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 this and that. Tomorrow you will see the picture on my account. That might be interesting, right? These kind of things, you know, or you go from this picture and the next thing you see on the account is this picture. That's pretty impressive. This is where you say, hey, wow, I want to see more of that guy because this is a really cool picture. But then if you see instead this, it's like, moon, okay, what's going on here? So that doesn't fit together, right? Yeah, okay, let's go to the next account. Okay, there we go. Boom. Oh, I didn't check before, but I think that's okay. What is happening here? I mean, it's very consistent. Okay, I think looks safe. Let's go. Whoa, that was the wrong one. Sorry. There we go. What did you write? By the way, let's look at the chat real quick. Nothing? Nobody writing anything? Are you still checking out Instagram accounts? Yes, I do, but everybody had to post them before I started the screen. I did a challenge on my Facebook group. But you can join the Facebook group if you want to. It's here. 1 second. Here you go. I do a new challenge every week. Okay, so this is from George. Yeah. I enjoy working with Affinity Photo to create all kinds of compositions. I see. Okay, so that's what this is. And yeah, that's actually consistent. So you find all kinds of very busy compositions, which is okay. It's a kind of style that is fun to have these kind of pictures with a lot of different stuff in there. To be honest, I don't know what's going on right now in the picture. This is the fifth dimension or something. I don't know, but it's interesting. Why not? It's an artistic style. It looks cool, fits together. It's very cool. And it's in this kind of collage way, you know, where it doesn't have to be like believable in the sense that people are really there, the perspective doesn't match, and the ambient light and the light direction often doesn't match, stuff like that. Doesn't matter if you just make this kind of collage thing where you just like mesh pictures together to create this kind of picture, this kind of expression. That's also an artistic style, so that's okay. What I would suggest to you is that you again create these detail shots and then put them also together in here, like I have on my account with this one here, where you just can go and look at some smaller details in there with these busy pictures, you know. So that would be a good idea for that. That is really cool. Oh, by the way, let's see at what you're writing. Ah, you see, that's a problem. So you have no text here other than Delft, and no hashtags either. So people can't find you. So that's not good. Try to put some hashtags, some text in here. Write a little bit about maybe the story of that, what you created here, so people can actually find you on Instagram. That's pretty important. Okay, pretty cool. Let's go on to the next one so we get more people onto the stream. This one is by Manny, I guess. That looks good. It's just animals. All pictures so far in my profile are edited in Lightroom 6. I think I'm not so creative in terms of editing my pictures. That's one of the reasons I'm here. A review of some tips to improve would really help. Okay, interesting. So we have some animal pictures in here. Let's see, what is this? Okay. So these are additional pictures. They are not details. Okay. This is also something you can do. Like if you have multiple pictures of different birds and stuff, you can just put them together in a little bit of a small slideshow. Again, for some reason, you have the problem that your images are blurred here. have a look at the upload resolution. Like, try to upload it in a much higher resolution. Like I said, I use 2000 by 2000 as a resolution. Maybe you get then a sharper picture here in the preview, because this looks kind of very blurry, and then this picture is sharp. Other than that, I mean, again, from the editing is nice, but maybe try to this is hard to say, to work with the adjustments of the lights and the colors and the color gradings to make it more into this kind of professional look. I think what would be good for you is to go and try out Nik Collection, especially Viveza, where you can put these light and these kind of areas that have a luminosity mask on there. So you can say, I just want to adjust this brown area here, for example, or just I want to make this area here brighter without influencing the rest of the picture, stuff like that. Or have some more contrast here on the neck feathers, but then these feathers softer, stuff like that. You can do with Viveza, and then you can do these different kind of colors with the Nik color effect. So maybe download that as a demo, have a look at that if you like that. I think it's really good for nature photography specifically. Also gives it more a little bit of this kind of analog looking touch to the pictures. And I found it's very easy to and fast to work with that. I think you can do some of that stuff with Lightroom too. And I would actually look specifically at people who do these kind of wildlife photographies and see, like on YouTube, for example, how do they edit the pictures? Maybe find a channel who's specialized in Lightroom wildlife photography and see what they are doing to get these kind of colors in there and stuff like that. Oh, here you have a city now. So there's other stuff in here. Okay. And you can see, like, for example, at this picture here, it has more this kind of artificial color, and it looks, of course, not like a documentation picture, but at the same time, you can see how this picture doesn't look like just a shot or just a, like, that everyday trivial life. It looks like more special, more artistic, more purposeful, you know? So this is also a good way to, for example, a good suggestion is if it's very hard to get the colors right, you can get the colors purposefully wrong, and this might look better after after all, you know. So that could be a trick to say, okay, well, I don't know how to make it look good and natural, so let's go the other way and get some good style in there. That could be the case. Yeah. And also, again, you have some very creative perspectives also, like this one, for example, here. So there's some interesting style in here too. Like I said before, look at videos on how professional photographers, how do they find these kind of angles, from where to photograph, how to set something up to look great in a photo. And there's a lot of tricks in there that are not that hard to understand. And it just with a little bit of, first of all, knowledge, how do they do that, and experience to try that out actually for yourself, you get a hang of it really quickly, right? So that's very helpful. Okay. It's a little bit mixed between this and that. Didn't you say up here you're like a nature photographer? No, a hobby photographer. Okay, so that's different. Okay, interesting. I would, in this case, for example, you have 3 pictures and they don't really give you more information, you know. If you have seen this picture, and that picture doesn't tell you anything new. They are all 3 nice pictures, nice photographs, but they don't give you a better experience, you know. There's nothing new in there. So either bring a picture that shows something, maybe the bird is eating or starting to fly or landing or something, different kind of situation, or maybe bring something in between and then save up these pictures and post them some days later, so there's something different in between there. Because if they have seen this, they are not as excited about this and that, so you get less attention, less likes, less comments, and yeah, it's not as good. You don't get as much feedback for posting the same stuff over and over, right? Or a similar, very similar stuff, you know what I mean? Okay, let's go to the next one. Whew, how many more do we have, by the way? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh my God. Okay, I'm not sure if we can do all of them today. Or should I go really fast now? What do you say? Chat, tell me. Wow. Okay, there's a lot of sunsets in here. This is from Adam Bennett. There we go. Essex-based Olympus enthusiast. Oh, I have to say, I didn't know Olympus is still around. I'm surprised. They still do cameras, really? I had an Olympus camera back in the day. I had no idea. Huh. Wow. But they have like dropped a little bit out of relevance, right? I'm not sure, but I haven't heard anything about them. I researched cameras before I bought my Sony camera. Haven't heard anything about Olympus. But the pictures here are pretty cool. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Let's have a look at these pictures. So what do you say here? All pictures so far in my profile are edited in... Oh, no, this is the other one. Addicted to sunrise and reflections. Yeah, that's true. Olympus enthusiast who enjoys taking the camera for a walk and watching the sunrise. For prints, please visit... Ah, okay, so you can buy them also. That's interesting. Yeah, there you have your sunrise pictures. Very nice, really cool reflections in here. There we have a little bit of swan romance. Pretty cool. Okay, choose a winner. Not quite BGT, but my photo of Swan of Sunrise has been shortlisted by the judges. Ah, okay. Interesting. Huh. Is this an HDR picture? Interesting. And you see he's writing some story here, a lot of hashtags, so that's pretty good. Yeah, it's very nice. This doesn't really work on Instagram. You can't put links in here. You only can put the links in the profile. So, of course, people can select this and copy it over and then go to the address, but most people look at it on their phone, so they can't do that in an easy way. So it's probably better to say, for prints, please visit my bio or my profile to get that link, right? So people can just click here and then they have this link, right? So that's easier. Okay. Yeah, pretty cool. Very consistent. It's not just sunrises, but maybe it would be a little bit too much just sunrises. I don't know. Yeah, it's very interesting. It's kind of annoying that Instagram turned off that we can see the likes, because I would be really interested to see. Okay, there's a lot of likes on here. Oh, okay, there we go. To see how many likes a picture has, if that's consistent or not. So that's also interesting. Yeah, it's very nice. Pretty cool. I wonder in this case, because this is very specific, is it hard to find new things as a sunrise, or do you just take you just take the pictures of a sunrise because it's a sunrise? It's there. You don't try to like find new angles or new ways to photograph a sunrise, because a lot of them are very, as you can see here, this, they are very, very similar. The difference is, of course, the sunrise and the weather situation and the colors you get in the sunrise, but the way they are photographed is very similar, so that's interesting. This is a little bit different here, so that's a new take. It's not a sunrise, of course, but so that would be interesting. If that's, And here we go. This is what I said. So you see, these are the older pictures, and now they are different. Different quality, mixed in some other stuff in here. So this is what happens very often. You scroll down, you see the older stuff and where people have come from artistically and from their quality. Although you really are good with these portraits here too. Again, a little bit of cosplay in here. So pretty interesting, very nice. And then you focused on sunrises, which is cool. It's very nice, pretty interesting. Yeah. But again, like I wonder if this is like, I don't know. I mean, the niche and consistency is good. And this is also what I found for myself. Like, I like to experiment and like to do new things and try out all kinds of things. But I also found that with the community, basically you shape your own community. So the way you build up the community is also how they are after a certain time. And this at the beginning is a lot of freedom, but over time it becomes a little bit of a limitation in a certain sense, because you can't do other stuff because you have focused on this kind of area. People don't want to see anything else because they're not used to it, and also you haven't attracted these other people, you know. So for example, I could have built my account specifically around portrait photography and how to edit portraits and set them up with all the props. And I mean, it could still develop in this kind of area or into street photography or something else. But as soon as you do that and you are known as the guy who does this stuff, for example, in this case, sunsets, and then you want to pivot over to another thing, you say, okay, I have enough of sunsets. Now I'm doing portraits. Your community is not used to that. They are not expecting that, and they don't want this from you. They rather, if they like it, they would rather see it from someone else who is specialized in that kind of thing, and then can make it complex in that situation because you're really limited by your own the way you shaped your social media presence to this kind of thing. So also keep that in mind when you create something. But it's nice, really consistent, pretty cool. Okay, let's go on to the next one. This was Adam, I think. Yes, okay. Here's Sane. This Instagram is mostly of cats. I have foster or personal cats. I see, okay. Moi. Lots of cats here. Okay, cool. And some memes too. So that's good. And I guess you do it for private purposes as no. You have also some collages on here. Wow. That's actually pretty cool. I mean, he doesn't like sit in the right way if the boat would go like that, but it's still, I mean, for a funny meme picture, it's pretty cool. It's what people would expect from that. Pretty nice. And you have some graphic stuff here, illustration stuff, and some other memes that we don't want to show because of the word. Okay, so this is more like fun stuff here. That's pretty cool. If you enjoy that, if that's your thing. Wow, this is cool. Look at that. The cat with the paw holding the camera for a selfie, and then you have the shadow matching that. Of course, you can see this is not a cat, but still. Pretty cool. Oh, and there's a guy down there. So this is like a fisheye lens. Yeah. Oh, also with the horizon, you can see that's pretty cool. You could have edited this a little bit, like remove this part so it looks more, and straighten this out so it looks like a paw. Maybe add a cat here, a cat hair here, cat ear here. Sorry. Wow, that's a. So these are all cat memes. That is also interesting. Really, yeah, strange and interesting. Well, yeah. Okay, pretty cool. All right. Yeah, have fun with that. It's pretty awesome. A lot of different stuff. I don't know what else to say about that. It's really cool. Wow. So you're really into cat memes. Oh, wow. Here's the it meme. Very cute. Okay, pretty cool. Thank you very much, Sane. Really interesting. I don't know what else to say about that. It's pretty interesting. The next one is by Nadine. Are people still watching, by the way? 24 people left, it looks like. They certainly have, Hugo, it's Great shame, my first camera as well. Ah, okay, so about Olympus. Yeah, I think like they're not as popular anymore. They have been a big brand in the past. Hugo says, he's photographing with Olympus for 15 years. Wow, interesting. Oh, they sold their camera business. That's interesting. Okay. Okay, so this is about dogs here. So we had cats, now we have dogs. This is my photo page. All pictures are self-made. Nikon 7500. Interesting. So we have a lot of dogs here. Let's see. Yeah, it's a little bit of the same problem with this is blurry and then it gets sharp. It's really interesting that this happens so often. It seems to happen more with these like horizontal pictures, right? Maybe that's the thing. Maybe actually make a square cut here just for Instagram, a square crop, and put it on there just so you have better quality for the picture. Pretty cool pictures though. Very nice. Nice bokeh here. Really interesting. Wow. Okay. Here's a yoga picture. Then we have more dogs here. Oh, I think this is the one you created for the challenge for the in the Facebook group. And this is another thing from the challenge, right? Interesting. Okay, pretty cool. Very nice. I don't know what else to say here. So it's pretty cool pictures. It's of course a hobby account, but I think this is also what you said up there. Is it? Did you say that? Oh, no, you didn't. But I think it is, right? So yeah, it's nice. It's really cool. Again, you can do, of course, more adjustments, more color grading. I have some a little bit, about how, for example, to improve the color of the grass here, because you can see usually if you are in nature, grass has this kind of yellow touch that makes it look not so good. And then if you make it more green, which I show in my tutorial, and this kind of muted green a little bit that you get from this kind of, what are the kind of trees that you have as Christmas trees? This kind of green that looks very healthy, very natural, very like nature-like, this darker green that we expect. And if you put that and make it the color of the grass green and stuff, nature looks, first of all, better, more interesting, and secondly, it separates more, for example, from skin colors, because the skin is often kind of rosy or orange, and then you have these darker green colors. So these are contrasting colors, right? If you have green and orange next to each other, right? But if they are so yellow like here, they are closer to the skin, so they mix more, and then it just looks different, right? So this would be kind of a thing to do, to think about. With the color grading and stuff. Yeah. So you see here, for example, this screen looks more healthy and more like how we think about nature. Of course, idealized, because nature doesn't look like that, but often we want to look at something that is how we expect nature to be, not how nature is, All right. Yeah, pretty cool. It's a lot of stuff from all over the place, a lot of animal pictures, of course, a lot of different qualities from the colors, as you can see here. So not that much consistency from the colors and the editing. You see, this is warmer, this is colder, and this is like not that much edited. This is very strongly edited. So there's a lot of different things going on here. So to have more consistency might make the overall impression better for the account. So maybe think about that. Figure out a style you like a lot, and then try to keep closer to that style, right? Okay, let's go for the next one. Wait a second. I can actually close this. I don't need that. Look on VP, what is that? VDPSP, I don't know what that is. What is that? Oh, that's an Instagram account. I see. You had to post it before the stream started. You see, I made this kind of challenge here, so everybody posted before that, and we still have so many accounts to go through. Oh, you can't actually see what I'm looking at. Sorry for that. The next one is called, 1 second, I have to check the account if it's okay. Yeah, that looks good. There's even the trick in here that I was talking about before. Whoop, that's the wrong one. There we go. No, again, wrong one, sorry. This is the right one here. So this is called Trinity Strength from Christian. I started for personal training, but evolved to sharing how I see stuff through music, art, and slices of life. Okay. Reunite mind and body, ignite the soul. Wow, there's even a slogan on here. Okay. Interesting. So we have some portraits here. More portraits. Wow, okay, it's interesting. You see, nice combination of colors already looks better and helps a lot. You see, like red here, and then we have some yellow and some, of course, the yellow from the skin, and then we have some blue. So we have the 3 main colors basically. Red, blue, and green is on. Well, you know what I mean. So this fits nicely together. Pretty cool. Makes a really good impression. As you see, if you have more control a little bit over the colors, that's a good thing. All right. Why are these completely black? Is this a combination with that? But I don't see how these combine. Okay, anyways. Here we have some details. Let's see what the details are. Okay, so these are different portraits of the same person. This is also a good idea, by the way. So you make one picture and people are interested, you want to see more, so you show more portraits of the same person, but different portraits, not details, but different portraits of the same series or of the same shooting session. That is also a good idea. And you don't like fill up your page, your stream with a lot of pictures that are very similar, that people might not want to see the same thing again and again. You know what I mean? So that could be a really good idea. That also looks really good. So interesting styles in here. This is what I was talking about before, to just crop them into these different sizes, and then you post them individually. And on your picture, on your profile page, they come together as one picture. On the desktop, you have these big gaps, but on the phone, they are really close together, so they actually look like one photo with a little bit of a grid on there. Okay, so here we have some meme stuff. I don't know why this fits in here. And then you have some other pictures of other qualities, as you can see here. So they are very different from the editing, from the photo quality, from the light quality, very different from what you've shown up here with these kind of pictures that look much more professional. So like I said, if you do it for fun, you can post whatever you want. If you do it professionally, try to stay with a certain level and then try to always push this kind of level to become better or become more consistent, more like good at that kind of style. And here's kind of mixed with everything, you know. So this is okay. I'm not sure we can show that. I will just stay here and the pictures above. So this is more like a situation. We just take a picture. Maybe this is like a behind the scenes shot. Could be. My last picture from the event and pre-flash. Okay. So this is like a behind the scenes shot, I guess. And then you have these kind of pictures here that look more, this looks more professional. This is kind of the lighting, a little bit stranger for the editing, but could be a style. Like this is more this kind of, I don't know what it's called, but it's kind of style where you have the feeling that you are in the room with the person. It's more subjective, not a subjective camera in the sense that you're actually there or see through the eyes of a person, but you witness something that is happening in an authentic way in front of your eyes, you know, this kind of style. So it could be interesting, but it's very different, of course, from this, what you see here. This is more like the Gregory Crutzen kind of thing we have seen last time from this kind of setup and lighting and stuff. So it's interesting. Okay, pretty cool. What do you write here? We are all broken. That's how the light gets in. Hemingway. Okay, so you have a quote from a story. This could also be interesting. So you get, this is also, by the way, this is a good point to give people a little bit of a connect to What do you think? How do you feel? What does inspire you? These kind of things. You can put that into the video, into the photo description. And this way, when people like your stuff and they can read through the text, they connect to you as a person, to your artistic style. They understand where you come from, where you're going with your artistic idea. And this can help people to like follow you, be interested in what you do, have a better understanding of what you try to achieve as an artist, right? So really use this kind of space to put in some interesting information, and then also some hashtags, of course. All right, let's go on to the next one so we get as many people finished today as possible. The next one is Min2. Let's see what's on there. Ah, okay. All right, so let's have a look at that. That looks okay. He says just a beginner, portraits, road to enthusiastic. Okay, interesting. So here I have a little bit of information in here about yourself and some different kind of photos here where you experiment with different styles. So that's interesting. Yeah. It has a certain kind of consistency, and it's all portraits, so that's pretty nice. And you're just trying out different styles. So for a channel of learning and experimenting, this is actually pretty good. And you also have often this kind of consistency in the colors. They are like this and this has more this kind of pastel and muted colors. So even though this is darker from the colors, they still kind of fit together. So that's pretty good. Yeah. You have some, of course, that are different. You can see like here, these are more these kind of natural colors compared to this, what you have down here. So that's a little bit different. But it's mostly muted colors, so that's interesting. Yeah, and these are more like, okay, this is a very different style here. More popping colors. By the way, a good trick you can do is if you, I mean, depends on the subject here, I'm not sure. But if you have a wide angle lens, for example, and because it's wide angle, you can get closer to the person. This stretches the dimensions of the, how can I say, the body shapes, basically. Through how the lens works, it's all getting a little bit stretched out, right? So what you can do to avoid that is you step a little bit back and zoom in a little bit into the subject, and then it gets more natural from the proportions and of how the body and the face and the anatomy of the body looks. So that's a good trick. And of course, this depends on what you want to do with your photography, because you can use this kind of stretching out, for example, to create a dynamic in your picture, especially if you combine it with an angle, for example, from below or from a top, and then you have this kind of stretching where things even look further away from the camera because of this optical effect. You can stretch out a person, for example, if you photograph a person who is holding a sneaker towards the camera, the sneaker looks big, the person behind that looks a lot smaller. It's all kind of is stretched in that way, and this makes it very dynamic. But if you do the same thing and photograph a person from the front, it can be stretched in a way that the person looks, for example, that the face gets rounder in that kind of situation. And if you go further away and zoom in, the face gets slimmer again, right? So this can be different kind of ways to use your lenses. There's actually good videos here. When you go to wait a second, portrait millimeters. This one, look at this video. It's called Portrait Focal Length Explained 35, 50, and 85. This is also why I chose an 85. I'm not sure if this is, I think this is the video I mean, and he shows how the body changes and how you use the different focal lengths for that. And 85 gives you a very natural look of the body, of the anatomy. And then the shorter focal lengths, they stretch it a little bit in different ways, but you can use it as a benefit if you know how. You know, also here you can see a good effect. You can see here how the face looks different from 15 to 800 millimeters. 800 is very extreme, but still, yeah. You can also see here a little bit of the effect of how the face looks different, right? From 24, 50, 85, 135. So that's interesting to know if you do mainly portrait photography, and also maybe for the benefit of your model. If you say, okay, I want to look a little bit like that, you can change to that kind of lens to get them to look like that, right? Okay, let's go to the next one. This is by Carol. Also, by the way, another thing to look for is perspective foreshortening is what it's called. And what perspective foreshortening is, if you look at my hand, this is how it looks now. And if I do it like this, my hand gets very short, right? Or my finger, look at the finger like this, long finger, and then it becomes a short finger like this. This is perspective foreshortening. Now, because this is my finger, you can see that I'm pointing at you, right? So that's easy to understand. But if you have another body part, for example, a complete arm, or you have your nose or an ear or something, it can look like the guy or the person has huge or very small ears. So it has like a strangely shaped arm or stuff like that, because you just can't identify that. So also think about these kind of foreshortening effects and how they influence the portrait, stuff like that. Okay, let's go to the next one. This is by Fur Baby Pigs. Okay, interesting username. By Carol. She says, for my cat photography, there is a separate Instagram for landscape, as well as local parks and gardens. The genres are split the same way on my Facebook page. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this is also good, by the way, when you say this, to be consistent over your different social media accounts, you know. So it's not good if you're very consistent on Instagram and then you navigate people to your main page or to your Facebook page or to your YouTube account, and there it's willy-nilly everything you want to put on there is just in there. That's not a good thing. People want to have the same experience. So if you have an account for cat photography in this case, and you have a website, make the website about cat photography. And if you have other stuff, like you make wedding photography, make a second website about wedding photography. That's okay, but don't have everything on there and confuse people with not understanding how they came from cats to suddenly wedding photos or stuff like that, you know. All right, let's have a look at that. Yeah, very consistent. It's just cats. You have a lot of different styles of editing, but why not play around with that? That's pretty okay. And also all kind of different perspectives of what you're showing in your pictures. For some reason we have birds here. Oh, there's some cats looking at the birds. Okay, again, this is the kind of effect when you have a horizontal picture and then combine it with this kind of square preview. You might not get the concept of the picture unless you click on that. Yeah, pretty cool. Very nice. Once in a while a black and white picture, so it's also interesting. Interesting. How many followers does this have? 185, 89. Okay, interesting. Yeah. By the way, another interesting thing is, like, if you want to catch the attention of more people and get more follower, the question is also, what could be exciting to them? You know, what could draw them in and say, oh, I need to know that, I need to see that. Is that something that's like interesting for me? So if you build these accounts, so for example, if you can look at other accounts, they have millions of followers, also about cats. You will see that they always try to figure out something, and there's always a little bit of a story in there to find. Like, my cat sees its first goldfish, something like that. Or my baby cat feels the first snowflakes, something like that, you know? And that's something you can emotionally connect. It's something new. It's a little bit of a story. It's something you say, oh, I want to see that, you know? What is a emotional hook that gets you in there? It's like with a TV show or with a trailer or stuff like that. You want to have an emotional hook where people are like, oh, okay, cool. I need to know more. I want to know more about that. I will check that out, right? I will want to see more of that, how this goes on. You can also connect that, right? So you can say, my baby cat is experiencing the first snow. So this is a picture where the cat is still inside of the home, looking through the window out on the snow. And then in the next day, you teaser that in the text. You say, okay, tomorrow I post a picture where the cat is actually going outside to feel the snow in the face, on the paws, whatever. You know what I mean? So this is something you can also do to draw the attention, right? Okay, interesting. Pretty cool pictures. Very nice. Okay, let's go to the next one. I think we are, well, getting close a little bit. That was a big task today. So this is from Patik, I think. Photograph everything, and my newest thing is FPV flying. Oh, okay, so drone flying with these kind of goggles on there, so you look directly through the camera. It's kind of these racing drones also a little bit. Is this a video of a drone flying? Ah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, and then you fly around with the drone. Right. Okay. And this is probably, I guess, yeah, there's a private account, I guess, for yourself. And why is there a gender sign in here? It's a little bit strange. Okay. I mean, why not? It's okay too. By the way, this is a good point here. If you do a professional account, think about the username, because not every social media page allows you to change the social media name afterwards. You might be locked into that. So think about that before you go big with your account, before you invest a lot of time and maybe even money to promote your account, that the username checks out. And it's not something goofy where you think, oh my God, now I'm famous as that name online, you know. That might be a little bit strange, maybe even off-putting to customers or to sponsors or stuff like that. So take that into consideration. Yeah, okay, pretty cool pictures. Also kind of a very consistent editing. You see all these kind of brownish matte look. So that's pretty cool. There's a little bit of other style down here. So like I said, the more you scroll down, the more changes. This is from my challenge, right? I think we did a challenge like this some years ago, some months ago. Interesting. This, I think, is another challenge with the gate to the dimension. So pretty cool. Nice. Okay. Oh, I did this tutorial also with these kind of portals. Okay. Yeah, so someone who follows my channel. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, so this is a fun private account with all kinds of things in here. So that's very nice. And just like experimenting and trying out different things. And yeah, very nice. Really cool. Have fun with that. That looks really interesting. Very cool. So like I said, for a private account, just do whatever you like to create these kind of things. What is this? Let's have a look at this. Oh, this is not a video. I thought it's a video. What's happening here? Oh, that's also a problem. I've had this recently too. If you post a certain kind of dimension, like 4 by 5 here, and then you have one that's different, Instagram is doing this kind of ugly, there is nothing there, we're just going to show black here, and the other one we just push somewhere on the space, not looking good at all kind of thing happening also here. So if you upload multiple pictures, have them all in the same ratio, because if you don't, Instagram is doing some strange things that really don't look good. So keep them in the same ratio. Yeah. Yes, you see the same thing here. It just doesn't look good. It's just not a good thing. All right, let's go for the next one. This is from Milos. Let's see what's on there. Yeah, okay, lots of landscape photography. What did you say? The more I know, the more I know I don't know anything. Ah, yeah, okay, well, that's a classic thing. The more you know, the more you understand that there is just so much things you don't know. Oh, I've never seen that. That is pretty interesting with these icons here. What is this? What does happen if I click here? Oh, we get stories. I think these are story collections. Wow. I'm confused. What is going on here? So I have seen these in our last challenges, so that's pretty cool. But why aren't they here? What's this? Okay. So this is another one of those. I post like I have different interests, so I post everything on the same account, and it just makes subcategories, which I used to do in the past too. I just had like 20 different subcategories because I like to do this and that, abstract art and photography and music and poetry and traveling and cooking, and suddenly you have a huge list of links. It looks cool here, but it's not very consistent because it's just like everything in there that you do. So maybe focus the account on one thing, unless you just want to have a private account where everybody can find your stuff, then that's cool too. Really, I like the professional editing. You can see here from the landscapes, this is what I mean. If you make these colors and the color grading and all of that more professional from the look, it just looks better than it is by just the situation there. You know, it's not just a photo, because real life is trivial and everybody wants to get away from that. So we want to see something that's larger than life. Even if we have something that's nature, you want to have everything a little bit refined, because you want to see something you don't experience otherwise, you know. And if a road and a snowy meadow just looks like a road and a snowy meadow, that's something you can experience by just going outside of your doors, nothing to look for. But if it's color graded in a certain way and it just looks professional, it's something to say, oh, I wish I would have been there too, because this looks like an adventure or something else. You know what I mean? So you want to have this kind of situation. You want to create this kind of, oh, wow, cool kind of thing. You can also see it here. This is like, look at the green of the grass and the brown of the stone here. Normally grass looks boring, you know, it's this kind of ugly green and a little bit of yellow in there, and it's like, especially if you photograph it. If you see it with your eyes, it's different, because you can like basically taste the grass with your eyes. If you see it in like 3 dimensions, also it's grass, it's like good. But if you see it as a photo, it's really boring, unless you edit it like in this way, where it's like it becomes the thing that we connect to in our mind when we think about grass, what we see, what we feel. And a photo doesn't do, the camera doesn't do that, so you have to edit it in a certain way. Also with stone. Stone is incredibly boring when you photograph it just like that, but if you edit it in a certain way, it looks like the most amazing, cool thing in an adventure, and wow, mountain climbing, all these kind of cool things. So you connect to the emotional part of that. So that's interesting. Also, photography is not just taking a picture, it's also to create emotions people can connect to. So that might be an interesting point to think about when you edit your pictures. All right, let's go on. Thank you very much. Sorry, I have to go faster. There's still so much stuff here. This is from Noel, and I don't want to go too long. We are at, okay, so we are 2 hours 43, so I will go to 3 hours, which is way too long, way more than I wanted to do. And then we will just cut it off. So we have another like 17 minutes to go through that. Where are you from? I'm from Germany, but I live in Austria. Okay. Let's see. So this is travel photography. Wait a second. What did you say here? Noel said, my intention to post on Instagram was to get some feedback and to get inspired. My account is just about travel photography. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Again, this is something that's really crowded as a space, really hard to do, and where it really comes down to the point of, do you have an interesting angle? Because even now, even if there is tens of thousands of travel social media accounts out there, you can still be successful with that, but you have to find something that hasn't been covered yet and just an angle that's interesting, right? I'm not saying that you want to do that, because this is just, you just post your pictures, as you say, just to have fun and get some feedback. But if you would like to do that, that's a hard thing. It's a hard sell to just build a community in that way. And you have to present something that's like, what is out there that hasn't been done, that people are interesting, that meets your passion, that's like different from what you would expect from other travel things. And this can come from any kind of direction, you know. For example, and I don't know if there might be like hundreds of accounts doing that already, I don't know, but let's say, for example, you make a travel account, but that travel account is about combining travel with spices. So you travel around the world finding the most refined, amazing, rare spices of these cultures that they do and how they use it, and you could even sell it to your community afterwards in little spice bottles, stuff like that. And that's more than just traveling. It's more than just adventure. You can give something to people that is interesting. Maybe you are like a good cook that has worked in really good restaurants or stuff like that. And so you have how do you say? You have an expertise. You're an expert on this kind of area, and you can really give them some insight into that. That could be interesting, right? Or something else, you know, some edge, some niche, some angle to that. All right. Again, let's look at the account. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like I said, it's like a fun account, and you show your passion and your pictures, and that's pretty cool. And this is also okay if it's kind of, I mean, it's in a certain sense consistent with the editing and what you photograph. Like I said, travel photography. Yeah, pretty cool. Very nice. I don't know what else to say here, because like it's a private account, so whatever it is, it's good, you know. And I really like the way you edit and you photograph. It has a certain style to it, a certain flair. It's actually square pictures too, so that's pretty cool, right? Yeah. And this is also an interesting thing. If you are in an area where there is already a lot of stuff going on, even if you're good, people expect more than just good, because they can get good in 1,000 different variations. So you have to be either very specific with your niche or a lot better than the rest, right? And this is also what some people do when they get really big with their accounts. You see that maybe today what they do is normal, but when they started like 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, they revolutionized a certain area. They just came with a completely new concept of how to photograph things, film things, make a social media account, create a story, all these kind of things. And this is why they are so big with that, because they started that. And the other thousands of people, they are just copying that and try to also get up to that fame, right? So that's also something interesting to think about. And these inspirations can come from all kinds of areas, right? Of what could be interesting. Wait a second, what was the last one? Yeah, that's the last one. Okay, let's go to the next one. And this is also why I want to do also more of my own photography and bring that to the channel, because a lot of tutorial channels just show you tutorials. They don't show their own works and why they do some stuff a certain way. But if you combine it with your own photography, it becomes, I hope, a lot more interesting for the people, and you involve them also in the process. Maybe that's a good thing. We have to see if that works or not. All right, so here, what do we have in here? So this is again a variation of the photo, so that's interesting. And you see, if these were two different posts, it would be maybe a little bit boring. But because this is just like a slideshow, there could be even two more pictures in here, and it would be interesting to just see a different take on the same situation, but just as a single post. Yeah, so you could write a little bit more story, and then I guess you put the you put the hashtags into a comment. I'm not sure if this even works. If you want to find the post, I'm not sure if it searches through the comments. I don't think it does, because then all kinds of pictures would pop up just because a word is in the comments. Yeah, very consistent, very nice pictures also. Okay, and we're already done. So this is very focused on just your portraits and very selected too. Interesting. I'm a beginning photographer from Utrecht. DM me for collaborations and questions. So that's also nice as a beginner, just to look for other people and maybe for models or stuff like that. And you also have a non-portrait account. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, interesting. Really cool. Very focused. Very interesting. Cool. Nice editing also. Okay, let's go on to the next one. So we cover as much as possible today. Michaela. I hope I didn't check the account. It looks all good. Okay, so what did you say? Oh God, you wrote in a different language. Let's go to Google Translate. What does it say? Photography mostly children. The purpose is mostly for myself to see the development in photography, and that I only follow photographers from that account. The last part I think isn't translated correctly. Trying to find my style in photography, so just playing around with my camera. Okay, so it's just like another experimenting account. Interesting stuff. Of course, this is like a lot of different stuff from a lot of different backgrounds, but color-wise, it's very consistent. All this kind of warm tones here. So that's pretty cool. Fits all very nice together, and we already finished. And also from the topics, it's kind of consistent, right? It's kind of a private, modern family life, a little bit of skateboarding and a dog and a child in there. I'm not sure if these are your kids, but it looks like you just have doing professional photography about your own family in that kind of situation, and have a stylish way of showing the background of what's going on here, like this, making this, what is it called, candy house or something? I'm not sure. Pretty cool. Very interesting. Very nice. Yeah. These up here, for example, especially this one is different from the style than the rest, from the colors. You see, this is cooler, not as warm, like the skin tones, for example. The editing on the skin tones here is a lot cooler. It's like a little bit of like greenish blue. And the other ones down here is mostly this kind of warm touch to the pictures, like here, for example. It's a lot warmer also from the landscape and stuff, or also here. You have this kind of warmer atmosphere in there. So that's a little bit different. But like I said, you're trying around, you're playing around with different styles of photography and editing, so that's okay. All right, let's go on. From Andreas is the next one. He says, photography is a hobby of mine and I want to share some of my memories. Aha, okay. Let's have a look. Yes, okay, that's okay. What's the time? 7 minutes, okay. Good, let's go through this. Schwarzwald. Oh, okay, interesting. Yeah, so these are more private pictures again. And you can see, like here, for example, this could be one series. I mean, this is a video here, but these could be just one post and different pictures in the post, because it doesn't really give you much more information. It's just different takes on that. Again, with the editing and stuff, you see that it doesn't have this kind of professional touch. You see, if you look at the different, if you, this is a good thing you can do. Take your pictures, take the pictures of some stuff you like and compare them and see what's the difference between them, because these have this kind of different feel, this kind of different taste that makes them more professional and puts them into this kind of other dimension of, like I said, giving you this kind of emotional connect, not just the photo, to see how would you edit that to bring it to something else, and also how would you photograph to bring it to something else, to make it more than a picture, right? Okay, interesting. A lot of different styles you can see here, a lot of different colors in here and editing. So yeah. As a private account, it's interesting to just document your own things. But as a professional account, you would like to have maybe more consistency in the way you edit, for example, in this case, the pictures. These here are nice in the consistency of how they fit together, probably because they are from the same series, maybe from the same day. And then you can see how this changes. You see here and here the colors, if you compare it to here and here, it's just different colors, different kind of thing that's going on, right? Okay, also here, like this one, very different from this one, right? And I'm not saying this because this is not like when you say, well, this is a different time of day. The editing and the color grading is different here and here. This is what I mean by that, right? So, for example, here there is less contrast, there's less texture on the skin of the apple, stuff like that is different from these pictures up here that are more edited, I would assume. At least they look like that. Okay, let's go on to the next one. This is, I hope we didn't jump over someone. No. Oh, there's Surendra. Okay, maybe you're still in the live stream. Are they okay? I didn't check. Yes, looks good. Okay, cool. She says, or he says, well, I'm still learning. I'm trying to find my style. This account is to show all my traits and skills. Okay, so this is like, it says hobby photographer, bringing things together. Okay, nice. Yeah, interesting. You can really see that you try out different things, all these kind of also kind of learning exercises that are more abstract, bringing together light, shadow, structure. It's a really good exercise to do these kind of things here. They look boring, but it's interesting to learn from them to understand photography a little bit better. Yeah, so there's a lot of these things in here where you try out different things just to see how they work, if you can do that, right? So there isn't much of a topic consistency, of course, in that case, you know. There's all kinds of pictures, but that's good. If you want to learn, if you want to find out what you want to do, that's pretty okay. And I think a good way to find out what you like and what you want to do is if you think about it, and you get energy and it makes you smile and makes you feel good, you know, like, for example, you think about your love interest or you think about your best friend. If you have that kind of emotion when you think about that kind of topic, you know that's your thing. And if you think about other stuff and you're like, yeah, it's interesting, but I don't feel like, you know, this is a good way to figure out, is this my thing? Is this my style or not? You know, do I feel drawn to it? Does it make me happy to think about it? Or is it just something that I could do and it's kind of cool, but I don't feel like I have to do it right now, or I feel like something is lacking if it's not there. You know what I mean? So that's maybe a good way to figure that out. Okay. Let's go to the next one. It's from Uli, just for fun, is what he says here. Let's have a look. Oh. That's a very strange style to present things. Why did you do that? My pictures to show up in the feed when I put a hashtag in the comment. They do? That's interesting. I didn't know that. So that actually works, apparently. So this is from Uli or Ulish. Yeah, Uli, there it says. Okay, all pictures taken by myself. Why did you do it like this? Because you don't even use the full space of the width. So it's like really small. The people, like even here on my big screen, this fills maybe a tenth of my screen. And so on my phone, this is going to be really small. So people will hardly see what's going on here. And this kind of text information you can just put over here. So this doesn't really need to be in here. It has more this kind of gallery thing with the frame and so. I do understand that. But you're kind of like losing a lot of space. I wouldn't do it like that, to be honest. Or if you do it like that, at least upload multiple like detail shots where people can flick through them to see a little bit more of the details of the textures, the leaves here and stuff. It's certainly unique. It's certainly out like standing out, but a bit strange. Oh, here you did it differently. Okay. So you changed it to this. Did this work better? Maybe this works better. Who knows? Sometimes the strangest things work the best, you know? Okay, interesting. So there's all kinds of stuff here. And then recently you apparently have decided to go with nature pictures that are framed in that way. So you have more consistency here in the presentation. Oh, there is other stuff here, some street photography too. Interesting. Okay. Let's go on to the next one. So we cover some more people. Sorry that I'm now rushing through these, but I try to hopefully give everybody a feedback without going over 3 hours. We are already over 3 hours. So let's just do this one. And sorry for the other people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 more people. Should we do the 5 more people too? Maybe we do them too. Let's go real quick. So this is my Instagram is for sharing my landscape photography. Mostly consists of sunrise at beaches and little woodlands and astro. Okay. Wow. That is like a 70s music cover. Why is it so extremely edited? And you did a video. This is a slideshow. I mean, if that's what you like, but this is like very, very intensely edited. So maybe that's a little bit over the top. This is, by the way, also like a, I mean, you can say, okay, that's my thing. I like it like that. But often that's a beginner mistake, is to go too extreme with the colors and just like pump it up like crazy because it looks good if you look at it at the first moment. But that is kind of the equivalent to if you're new to, for example, let's say tea, and you just put a ton of milk and sugar in there because it just tastes good. And I drink my tea like that. I understand that. But if you want to taste, like really understand the art of tea, you don't do that, right? You want to like experience the pure tea and not like dilute it with all kinds of stuff in there. So, you know, if you sugar up the pictures, it looks good, but it's a little bit too much. You drown the picture in all these kind of effects and colors and stuff that's going on, right? Either you use it for a certain purpose that the colors are in there. So if you look at my account, I do have intense colors in there, of course, with a lot of my edits. But at the same time, these colors serve a certain purpose. So they are not like over the top in there, but they are there because I like this kind of pop color style, but also the picture and the artistic style is this kind of pop color style. It doesn't really fight each other. It's not drowning the picture in this kind of colors, you know. But in this case, if you want to show the beauty of nature, but then it's so extreme that it's like a lollipop, there's nothing, or there's not much left of the actual nature experience, you know. So maybe tone it down a little bit, make it a little bit softer, so you get this kind of, how can I say, softness of nature in there. You know what I mean? Okay. Yeah, thanks for that. There's a lot of stuff in here. Like I said, very mixed again of different, here's different edits of the same kind of situation. Oh, this is even time lapse. Right. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So I would just like go a little bit, relax a little bit on the colors and see what that brings to the picture, if the picture maybe looks more interesting that way, more natural maybe also. Okay, pretty cool. Right. And like I said, compare to pictures you like and see side by side, does your picture like match, or what's the difference? What did the artist that you like do different? And then you can also measure the colors. This is a good also idea for example, if you go, wait a second, let's go here to Affinity Photo real quick. I will copy, I can't copy. Let's make a screenshot here real quick. Let's go like this. Oh no, that's not it. Let's go like this, and then go like this, and then go like this. You can see my streaming setup here on the second screen too right now. Okay, and you can see if I now pick this color here, for example, or like, I don't know, what else kind of color can we pick? This one maybe, like so. And then, oh God. 1 second, let's make a new layer. There we go. You see, if you're here in the HSL setup here, you can see what color it is. You can see how much saturation and how much lightness you have. And with this, for example, you can compare it to the colors of another artist and see, is their picture also that kind of separated, or do they have different kind of colors in there? What kind of look is it? Because sometimes it might look very candy colored, but then you figure out it just looks that because the colors are very nicely balanced, but it's not that intense from the colors, right? Okay, let's go on. Who was that, by the way? Okay. Arthur. Let's go like this. This is the next one. That looks good too. Oh, interesting. So this is more like a documentation. Michael, what I'm doing wrong? I'm not sure what you mean by doing wrong. Yeah, so you just you show your like festival party life, documentation style, a little bit vintage from the colors here, as you can see. Also in these, you see like this kind of vintage color touch, so that's pretty cool. That's also consistent for the different pictures. And you have vintage, and then you have a little bit of black and white. So that mixes up very well. Here again, a little bit of vintage colors. Oh wait, I thought I switched to the pictures, but oh yeah, okay. There's still this kind of pretty nice. I like it. I like the style, and I like the colors. So that's interesting. You're probably wondering if you say what I'm doing wrong, maybe you think about the number of followers in that case. But again, you have to find something that's interesting for the community that you post that for, and make them come back to that, and maybe also share it to them. The pictures to where they are, maybe Facebook groups, maybe something else, maybe look at other Instagram accounts, write some comments on there that you like their stuff, so they might visit your stuff, stuff like that. So you just get more attention to your account. I think from the pictures, what they are is pretty good. But for example, if I just look at the pictures, I wouldn't be able to tell what's the idea behind that. You know, why is it, what is this account about, other than you go to festivals, right? What is my interest that brings me back to that, right? So if that's the question, maybe. Let's have a look at another account, 1 sec. I want to show you a different account. So here's one. He is very famous with his traveling. I think he doesn't do anything anymore, or very little. I think he's a travel vlogger. His name is Fun for Lewis. He used to post every day a video on YouTube. Very, very engaged. He doesn't do that anymore, as far as I know. He stopped that daily thing. It became too much over time. But he built a huge community around that. But when you look through his pictures, and the name is Fun for Lewis, so this already is giving you kind of an idea what's going on here. So he wants to have fun. So if you look through the pictures, you see pictures of him having fun. You see? So that's already like consistent with the concept, with what his brand is about. Here's you have fun with some foods, fun with some other food, fun while dancing, fun while swimming with his friends, fun while, I don't know what that is, fun while surfing. So this is consistent with what his brand is and what his channel is about. He is having fun and he's showing you how he's having fun. And it's everything that is, right? And so this is very consistent. If you want to see him having fun, you can go to his channel and you see that and nothing but that. That's the only thing he's doing is having fun, right? So that's good, you see? And when you scroll through that, you have a good idea of what's going on here. It's him having fun, right? There's no question about it. It's very easy to understand. So this is a good thing to build something up like that, right? There's a lot of different, like there's a little bit of different other stuff here where he has some travel photography and stuff. But mostly that's him doing some stuff and it's like, yeah, it fits the concept. So this is what I mean by that, you know? And here it's like, what exactly, who are these people? Why do you take these pictures? What is the importance of that? What is going on here? So scrolling through that, you don't really understand what is that, other than being a private account, and your friends might understand that, but not people from the outside. So maybe have a look at that, think about that. Or what's the point here of the account, so people understand when they come to the page. All right, let's go on. Who was that right now? Okay, this one. So we have 4 more. Let's do them all. You know what? I will just open all of them up. Wait a second. I will scroll through them and then we can quickly jump from one to another. What is that? Okay, so we can Dorona, I'm sorry, but those are not photos, those are graphics. So that's not what this is about. Sorry about that. Let's go to the next one. This is by Pavel. That's photography, that's good. Next one is by Eileen. Let's have a scroll through that. Okay, that's also good. So I can put this here and then we can put this here and then we can have the last one. Let's see. Oh, there's even more. Is there one more? Marco has also something. Sorry. You are on the very last position today. Okay. This is also good. And then we have this one that's also okay. Good. So let's go through them quickly. First, Pavel. What does Pavel say? Pavel says, thanks in advance for at least short opinion. All right. I guess it's oh no, you have a website here. So maybe this is a professional account. I'm not completely sure. We see your camera here. Again, as you can see, this is very much everything, you know, it doesn't, like, from the thematic, it's not very consistent. It's all kinds of things in here, you know. We have some whiskey and then a portrait and then a camera and then a snail and all kinds of things, all kinds of different qualities also for the pictures. Is this one of the, no, it's not. What is going on here? Oh, this is just a reflection of the guy. That's interesting. Okay, but it's all kind of stuff and all kinds of editing also, you know. So if, like I said, if it's a private account, have fun with styles and photography and experiment with all these kind of different things you can do. That's completely okay. And just like go wild is the best advice I can give you. Just like do whatever you like. Because it's your private account, it's there to have fun. This is why it's a hobby. If you do it professionally, be more consistent. Give the people an idea why the account is there. And what you are about, what your style is, what kind of direction you want to go. All right, so let's go to the next one by Eileen. Here we have some nature photography. Let's switch to this a little bit. We have some flowers, mostly nature, a little bit of art. Why do people photograph the moon so often? It's like almost every account has a moon photo. It's so interesting. We have this kind of crystal ball here. I guess this is also a private account. Oh, okay, hobbyist. Okay, so this is a fun private account. Again, with the nature pictures, either leave it like that if you like it like that, or try to look at other nature photographers and what they do with, for example, the colors and the grading and stuff like that, to make it, have it more this kind of professional look. Because again, you can see here the same thing, this kind of yellow, greenish yellow that you find in nature often. And also the picture looks a little bit flat maybe, so maybe have a little bit more differentiation between the brighter and the darker areas, bring a little bit more structure in there, all these kind of things, if you know what I mean. And also maybe the cropping and things to, for example, this is pretty cool here. Wait a second. This one is pretty cool. This one is pretty cool. Also with the bokeh in the background, always makes things look more professional. The editing is nice. The light and the colors are nice. And it's very different, for example, for this picture, because this is like, it's a photo of a bush, but it doesn't have like the angle or the crop is kind of, you're not sure what you're looking at here. You know, why do I look at this kind of random bush in the wild? Doesn't really tell me, doesn't really give me a purpose to look at that. While here you have a better idea because it's about these kind of blossoms here of the bush, I guess. And here, of course, again, blossoms because the rest is blurred. So you know what this is about. And here, again, these kind of, I don't know what to call them, but again, like separated with the blur in the background gives you a better idea what's going on. Yeah, and here again, you're a little bit confused of, I mean, understand it's nice from the composition and to capture also this. At the same, it's kind of hard to get this right? So this is also kind of experience. How do you photograph that to make it into a cool picture? Because there's cool pictures of just random bushes in the wild or just random stones on the ground, right? Okay, let's go to Macmoto. What does he say? This is how to improve overall lighting in my photos. Let's have a look at that. It's not loading. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. I'm not sure what to say here. What would you say in that case? I mean, this is kind of nice. It's nice. This is kind of, you see, there's a huge difference between this one from the quality and this one. This is very nice as a picture, and this is kind of, I'm not sure what's going on here. So this is very dark here. So I think it's more about the editing than the light in the pictures. I mean, this is also a nice picture. I think what you can do to improve your situation or make the pictures look better is, for example, in this case, use a bit more dodge and burn, for example, to carve a little bit the shape of the fur. Not carve in the sense of make a mask and like reduce the fur, but make certain areas darker and make other areas brighter. So you have more of this kind of 3D effect. And maybe make the subject here a little bit in a different color than the background, you know. So for example, make the foreground a little bit warmer, make the background a little bit cooler. That could be a thing. Or have a little bit more contrast than the background in there, just to separate them out a little bit, you know, and make this look a little bit more interesting. Because now everything is very balanced from the colors, from the lighting, and it grabs all the same kind of attention. So for example, again, I can't copy this. Wait a second. Let's go to Sketch here real quick. It's a very old program, but I still use it because it's so useful. Let's go to Snap here, and then it brings this. Okay, let's make a copy here real quick. So, for example, just by putting a vignette on that, I think this becomes a more interesting picture. Let's go here to vignette. No, that's not it. There we go. You see, if I make this darker around, so the background, all these kind of things become a little bit darker, and the subject in the middle becomes more like apparent, it can look more interesting. And then you can make different areas here a little bit brighter and a little bit darker, and maybe the dog a little bit warmer and stuff like that. And so you have like just more attention on the dog to play around with that, you know. That, I think that could help a lot, because right now the things are very balanced. And let's look at this again. It's very balanced here. Yeah, so maybe give that a try, give that a shot. Again here, the foreground, the background, the colors are very similar, and also the brightness and everything is very similar. So even though the background is very blurry, it still grabs a lot of attention from the picture, you know? So give that a try. Yeah. Okay, good. Let's go to the next one, the last one. This is by Marco, actually. Okay, what do we say? I know it's too late, but if you have time, check this. My wife didn't know that you will comment Insta profile until now. This is her profile, and she would appreciate your comments a lot. Okay, cool. So let's have a look at that. Beautiful life, beautiful view. Oh, I thought you would do a little rhyme here. Beautiful life, beautiful wife. But you got with beautiful view. Okay, amateur photographer. Isn't there another saying? Oh, there is. Yeah, it says happy wife, happy life. Okay, let's see what we got here. Okay, nice. A lot of landscape photography. The editing is a little bit like, again, too much color, right? A little bit too much candy in there, too much sweetener. So if you look at that, like, it's good, but bring it down a little bit. The color is too blue. The leaves are too green. It's like if you have the same picture, but you just mute it down a little bit, I think probably looks interesting, more interesting. Is this done with a Luminar maybe? Because Luminar has the tendency to make these atomic green colors in nature. So bring that a little bit back. That's again here also, it's a little bit, it's intense, you know. Again, the green, super intense. You can also individually address that, you know, like select these kind of, let's make a copy here real quick from that. Discard. So let's go here, copy that over to here. You see, for example, one way would be to have your HSL adjustment, and then you can, for example, sample the colors you want to address. Let's go here with this kind of orange, and then also up here we have this kind of yellow here, maybe like the green. And let's see. So if I go to this, yeah, you can see I can bring this down a little bit to make it maybe less intense, and I can do the same thing over here. You see how this now addresses the area where we have the our leaves, because a lot of that is actually rather yellow. Okay. And you can also, we did this in a tutorial. I'm not sure if I remember this right. Let's go with selective color, and then we go with the yellows. And what did I do there? I'm not 100% sure now. I would have to watch my own tutorial, to be honest. Yeah, maybe like this. Let's go with the greens here. Reduce the yellow a little bit. Still a lot of yellow up here for some reason. Magenta, white, and neutrals. Let's have a look at that. Let's see. I mean, not... Yeah, it's maybe a little bit better. I don't know. I mean, usually I spend a lot of time editing my pictures if I do that, so I can't do that in like 5 minutes or so, or in 2 minutes. But like I said, play around a little bit with the colors, with the values to give it a certain look, and like tone it down a little bit, because you can see here this is very like atomic green and stuff like that. It's a bit too much, I would say. This looks more natural. Again, the green is a little bit strange. I really think you do this with Luminar, because Luminar has the very tendency to have these very strange greens for foliage. But the sky looks nice. So that's interesting. The blue here is a little bit also kind of strange. It's not like... It's kind of a synthetic blue, you know? Not this kind of blue you would expect from a sky. Also, what you can do here is to dehaze that, to have like more... like less haze, more contrast in the background. That might also look good. Depends. So yeah, this is mainly what I would say. Look a little bit at the colors, make them a little bit more natural on one side and more interesting on the other hand, you know, these two things maybe. Yeah. Or if you want to have artificial colors, find a look that kind of works good for the pictures and still is interesting, you know, like for example, this kind of teal orange thing is an artistic style, like an artificial expression, but still makes the picture look better. All right. Okay, so that's it. Again, you see, like the screen is very like extreme. I really think this is the kind of Luminar look here, to be honest. Okay. So that's it for today. Sorry, we really made this very, very long as a stream today. Let's have a look at the live, the chat here. 1 second. There we go. What time is it? Oh my God. Okay, so sorry, we went really long today. I underestimated this kind of challenge this week. Pacey says, I'm a little bit late, but thank you for your feedback. Oh yeah, you're welcome. Also, Marco says it's edited in Photoshop Express, really? On the iPhone? Oh, interesting. Okay. Huh, interesting. By the way, this is a thing to look out for when you edit something on your phone. Phones often have a HDR screen that has a very high quality also, so the colors will look and the contrast will look very different on your phone and on your computer screen, because this is like a expensive high quality screen, and usually on your computer or laptop you have like a cheaper screen, because of course it's bigger. It would be very, very expensive to use the same kind of technology in a big screen. So you want to check up on the pictures on your computer before you post it, for example, to see, does it look good there? Is it like very too much edited, stuff like that. Whew. All right. So that's it for today. I would say thank you very much, everybody. We made a really long stream. Sorry. Maybe I should have split it on 2 streams. I don't know. We already are almost 4 hours. Okay. So yeah, sorry for everybody who watches it afterwards. Okay, good. Have a good night. Thank you for watching. And wait a second, what's this? Okay. Have a good night. Thank you for watching and see you soon. Bye.